Chapter 1201. Why do you do that? Could it be that you're interested in our sister too? The Empress and the Imperial concubine were stunned. As women, they knew what Wang Kai was trying to do. It's not that I'm interested in her, but she's also my disciple. As the saying goes, keep the goodies within the family. You guys understand this principle, right? Wang Kai's mouth curled up slightly as he said matter-of-factly. Okay. The Empress and the Imperial concubine looked at each other and nodded helplessly. Now that things had come to this, how could they refuse? Moreover, the lives of the three sisters were in Wang Kai's hands. Since Wang Kai was willing to negotiate, they could not go too far. What if they angered him? Okay, as long as you understand. Wang Kai nodded and smiled with satisfaction. Then we can still. The Empress and the Imperial concubine looked at each other and blushed. It was definitely the first time they had such a feeling with Wang Kai. Once they had tried it, they wanted to do it again. Especially the older Empress, who was even more eager. By the way, Master Wu, is this person your younger brother? Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and asked curiously. Him? No, he's just our sister's disciple. In fact, the Dark Mountain Master is not our sister, but our third sister. She's the youngest but the most powerful. In order to establish her image, we said that she's our elder brother. The Empress explained softly. Hearing this, Wang Kai's mouth twitched. It seemed that he was right. Master, can I bring them in to cultivate? Since they're all mortals, it's better to teach them together. At the same time, the stone door opened with a loud bang. Su Zian, the Han Yuan Celestial Emperor, stepped out of the stone door and came before Wang Kai. She bowed slightly in a respectful manner. What a beautiful woman. Is she the Celestial Emperor? She should be called Master, right? The Empress and the Imperial concubine's eyes lit up, and they looked at Su Zian enviously. It was completely different from how Wu Daoqing saw Su Zian. This was because Wu Daoqing's appearance was similar to Su Zian's. The only difference was their foundation and temperament as cultivators. As long as his cultivation level increased, he would reach the same level sooner or later, or even surpass it. As for the Empress and the Imperial concubine, they were slightly inferior. Well, take them in. Wang Kai nodded and said, Come with me. Su Zian looked at them and waved her hand. Then, she took the lead and walked through the stone door. The Empress and the Imperial concubine were very nervous about this. However, when they remembered that Wu Daoqing was still inside, they calmed down. They hurriedly bowed to Wang Kai and ran through the stone door. Rumble. As the stone door closed, Wang Kai couldn't help but stretch. Looking at the moon in the sky, he thought helplessly, It seems that I can't find another woman in the future. It's too troublesome and tiring. Well, in the future, I should be a low-key, pretentious Prince Charming who is pursued by countless women. Wang Kai, who had been wooing a girl repeatedly, felt that it was boring now. He might as well learn from Fan States Diyin, that hypocrite's attitude. He had a great reputation outside and attracted the attention of countless beauties. On the inside, he was the leader of a big force. He was sinister and cunning. Cough, cough. Forget about being sinister and cunning. It's not bad to pretend to be a gentleman, right? Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and smiled with satisfaction. Master, when are we going to the third universe? At the same time, the demon sovereign tore through the void and rushed to the location Wang Kai gave him. Wang Kai frowned and asked seriously, Are you sure that Azura has already gone to the third universe? Previously, he received the demon sovereign's reminder and report that Azura had gone to the third universe and was about to become the god of true virtue. If Azura became the god of true virtue, then he would undoubtedly die. Even if he didn't die, he would be chased and beaten by Azura. Wang Kai didn't want to experience that kind of feeling. I'm sure. When Azura went to the third universe, he sent me a divine sense message, asking me to give up looking after his lifeline, the demon sovereign said. Give up looking after his lifeline? What does that mean? Wang Kai frowned and looked surprised. He has already reached the god of true virtue realm. The meaning of the lifeline's existence has already been lost. Now that he has reached the third universe, a new lifeline will be born there at any time, with the third universe as the core. The demon sovereign said, "A new lifeline will be born in a different place, with the third universe as the core." Could it be that Azura wants to capture the third universe? Does he have the ability to do so? Wang Kai frowned and thought for a while. Then he secretly communicated with the system and said, "First, send my doppelgangers to Earth and let them cultivate there. Send 10 of them." Congratulations to the host for successfully sending 10 doppelgangers to the special ability realm where Earth is located. A total of 2,000 bragging points have been consumed. Again, wait, is it possible to send my doppelgangers to the second universe? With my current god of true virtue realm? Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and urged with his mind. Host, no. The bragging points are too low. After hearing the prompt, the corners of Wang Kai's mouth twitched slightly, and he said helplessly, "Then send 5 of my doppelgangers to 5 different places in the third universe to cultivate." Congratulations to the host for successfully sending 5 doppelgangers to the third universe. A total of 2,500 bragging points have been consumed. Host, Wang Kai occupation, immortal cultivator realm. Middle stage of loose immortal techniques. None immortal techniques. None immortal equipment. None bragging points. 200 experience points. 0300. Wang Kai shrugged and said, "Only 200 left. Forget it. Send 1 more doppelgangers to Earth. Let's be an ordinary person and cultivate in peace." Congratulations to the host for successfully sending a doppelganger to the Earth where the special ability realm is located. A total of 200 bragging points have been consumed. Wang Kai cut off the communication with the system, then looked at the demon ruler and said indifferently, "Get ready. In 3 days, we will go to the third universe. At that time, you will be the #1 fighting force by my side. I will do my best to help you improve. For now on, you will be called Air Tontion." Air Tontion? The demon ruler was stunned when he heard this, but he quickly nodded and said, "Yes, master." Azura didn't say that he would take him with him when he went to the third universe. The demon ruler was very unhappy about this. He worked so hard to help him guard his lifeline and was almost killed by Wang Kai. In the end, it was solved by a divine thought that he didn't need a guard. The demon ruler obviously didn't buy it. Now that he could get Wang Kai's help and promotion, the demon ruler was naturally very grateful. He was looking forward to it. When he became stronger, he would definitely compete with Azura. Chapter 1202. Cultivation God World, Kunlun Mountain. Wang Kai brought Su Zian and the others to the magic world. After finding Feng Lian, Xin Ku, and Archmage Lily, he tore open the void and returned to the Cultivation God World. Principal Loli of the Lorraine School of Magic also followed along curiously. If it weren't for the rules of the elf race being too rigid, even the elf queen and Wang Kai would have been brought along. However, the number of people was enough. Made Immortal Emperor Su Zian, Disciple Fairy Zhou, Empress Imperial Concubine, Black Mountain Master, and Mu Qingyun, who came back from learning from the Supreme Immortal Emperor. In addition to Feng Lian, Xin Ku, Archmage Lily, and the little lowly of the magic world, it could be said that there were beauties around him. Even Wang Kai felt a little smug when he saw it. Unfortunately, there was no chance. Otherwise, he would have eaten them all one by one. It would have been a worthwhile trip to the various universes. No. I have already made an oath to keep a low profile and refuse to pursue girls. I need to pretend to be a gentleman and let girls pursue me. This is the best way to pick up girls. Wang Kai frowned and thought to himself, "You're back, human." Buzz. The void tore open, and Kunlun Mountain, which had already turned into nothingness, was suddenly covered by thunderclouds. The figure of Azura appeared. Azura? Wang Kai frowned and looked a little stunned. Oh my god, Azura! Little Lowly and Archmage Lily were so scared that their faces changed drastically. They quickly took a few steps back. They were so scared that they couldn't control themselves. It was because Azura's reputation in the magic world was too loud. It could be said that it was synonymous with evil. Shouldn't you have gone to the third universe? Why are you still here? Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and asked with a slightly serious expression. If he was alone, he wouldn't have to worry about anything. But now, there were many people behind him whose cultivation wasn't enough. Even if Han Yuan, immortal Emperor Su Zian, was an immortal emperor, she was just a cultivation god. As for the demon ruler, he was still in the system. How could he appear casually? If an Azura saw this, he would probably be killed on the spot. What's more, the devil ruler wasn't a match for the Azuras. This is only a clone of mine. You don't have to worry. The reason why I used my clone to descend here is to tell you something, Azura said indifferently. Tell me something. Wang Kai's expression was quite playful when he heard this. He asked in surprise, what is it? Your doppelganger is now very famous in the third universe. Moreover, he has joined the Neophyte faction. Wait, what did you say? Before Azura could finish speaking, Wang Kai immediately frowned when he heard that. How long had it been since he sent his clone over? Now, they're all famous? Was he really that awesome? Your doppelgangers are all very famous. You have done all kinds of things to the extreme. Forget it. I'll wait for you in the third universe. When the time comes, I'll need your help. Perhaps we can become friends. Who knows? Wang. As soon as he finished speaking, Azura tore through the void and disappeared. Evil newcomer organization? Every doppelganger is very famous? They have done all kinds of things? What the hell? Wang Kai was a little stunned when he heard this. Could it be that his doppelganger went to look for beauties again when he went to the 8 Desolations? Then wouldn't he be hunted to death? Your doppelganger went to the third universe first. Su Zian asked in surprise. Wang Kai had always given her a mysterious feeling. Could it be that he even had a way to go to the third universe? If that was the case, why didn't he have the ability to return to the immortal martial domain? Of course I do. My ability is simply too powerful. Even if you spend your entire life, you won't be able to understand it. Therefore, you need to slowly understand it. Wang Kai shrugged and smiled with an indifferent expression. Now that he had returned to the immortal cultivation world, bragging wouldn't give him any experience points. Wang Kai didn't care about this at all. Yes, master. If you have the ability, I also want to go to the third universe. Su Zian nodded lightly and said respectfully, if she could enter the third universe, her strength would definitely increase greatly. Otherwise, with Su Zian's ability, being able to send her doppelganger into the immortal martial domain was already her limit. How could she have the ability to go to other places? You want to go? Forget it. If I bring you there, I'll have to take care of your safety. Therefore, you should stay in the cultivation god world and cultivate. When you become a dual cultivator god or a triple cultivator god, we could talk about going to other universes. Wang Kai naturally wouldn't agree to this. Not to mention her, no matter who asked, he would definitely not agree. In the third universe, there were countless experts. Who knew how many were the strongest? How many cultivators were there? If a god of 9 cultivators of true virtue or a god of 10 cultivators of true virtue were to appear, Wang Kai himself didn't have the confidence to fight against them. Moreover, not to mention the 10th and 9th cultivators, even if it was the 5th cultivator, Wang Kai might not be able to defeat them. The gap is really too big. However, as long as he reached the third universe, Wang Kai had complete confidence to break through to a higher realm as soon as possible. Then can we? No, no one can. If you don't have the ability to cultivate 3 cultivators, don't think about going to the third universe. Before Xian Ku and the others could finish speaking, they were rejected by Wang Kai in an indifferent voice. It wasn't that he didn't want to bring them, but that he really couldn't bring them. If any of them made a mistake, Wang Kai couldn't accept it. You all go back and cultivate. Feng Lian, Xian Ku, I'll leave them to you. I'm going to the third universe. Wang Kai shrugged and said with a rather indifferent expression, okay, don't worry. In this regard, Feng Lian and Xian Ku nodded lightly. Don't you want to stay for a while before leaving? Archmage Lily pursed her red lips and asked softly, why should I stay? Wang Kai touched his nose and asked, pretending to be stupid. Stay and accompany me. Archmage Lily said shyly. As soon as these words came out, Xian Ku's beautiful face also turned red. It had to be said that women in the world of magic were very open-minded. Well, okay, I'll stay for a few days. Hee hee. Wang Kai shrugged, his expression extremely playful. He was thinking that since he had already soaked in water, he might as well directly get the Dark Mountain Master and the other girls in a bed together. As the saying goes, one should not let one's own fertile water flow out. Thinking of this, Wang Kai's interest was immediately piqued. With a flash, he swept up the girls and went to the place where the God Clan was. A great battle was inevitable. Just treat it as indulgence before going to the third universe. Chapter 1203. Universe 3. It was different from other universes. This place was filled with all kinds of strong people. For example, sorcerers, sword masters, knights, and dragon knights. Immortal cultivators, mutants, and divine cultivators. There was even a special ability of the natives called mechanic. Here, the entire world was in chaos. It was almost the same as the buildings on Earth, but it was a world that had been destroyed. Buildings were dilapidated everywhere, and the air was foul. Corpses were everywhere, and wars were going on everywhere. Universe 3, the chaotic universe? Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and stood on a collapsed building. He looked at the dilapidated towns in all directions, as well as the rolling thunderclouds in the sky. In the distance, there were even sounds of fighting and shouting. Regarding this, Wang Kai could be said to be extremely surprised. He had never thought that Universe 3 would be such a chaotic place. It could be said that among all the places Wang Kai had been, only Universe 3 was the most chaotic. If the degree of chaos had to be expressed in words, it would be the doomsday battlefield. King of Hell, what are you looking at? When are you going to bring me into the abominable newcomer organization? Beside him stood a young man of 17 or 18 years old. He was wearing white armor and a helmet. It looked just like the Saint Seiya that he had seen in his previous life. It could be said that it was very comical. However, this young man's body was extremely strong. His bulging muscles were clearly visible, as if they were filled with explosive power. Chu-Ku, your current ability is not enough to enter the abominable newcomer organization. If you go in rashly, you will only become the cannon fodder of the other members. You should follow me for the time being. Wang Kai glanced at him indifferently. When he came to Universe 3 from the Cultivation God World, all his clones returned to his original body. Memories and experiences began to surface in his mind. This young man named Chu-Ku was a mechanic warrior that Wang Kai met when he arrived in Universe 3. He was a native of this world. Obviously, Wang Kai's reputation was extremely resounding. As long as he was in District 13, he was extremely powerful. With just one meeting, Chu-Ku recognized Wang Kai's identity. Moreover, he had been chasing after him, begging to join the abominable newcomer organization. Wang Kai was also quite distressed and troubled by this. However, since he was a mechanic, he still chose to bring him along. Having a mechanic as a follower would allow him to understand the power of a mechanic. The reason why he did this was that his clone did not think about these things at all. After coming here, he had indeed done a lot of things. Moreover, 8 out of 10 things he did were *King bad things. Of course, it wasn't too bad. It was just that after being misunderstood by others, it was the worst. That was why he was invited to join the extreme evil newcomer organization. Moreover, Wang Kai's doppelganger was considered to be a very famous member of the nefarious newcomer organization. As for the other doppelgangers, everything they did was related to women. Wang Kai didn't even want to think about it. He only hoped that he wouldn't run into those women who had been provoked to the point of no return. District 13, the chaotic universe, divided by districts, has a total of hundreds of millions of districts. To be able to be ranked 13th, it's naturally very powerful. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and smiled indifferently. He did not expect his clone to be so powerful. He had just come to Universe 3, but it did not take long for him to become a well-known figure in District 13. Sigh. In the end, it's still Ben Xiao who's powerful. If it were someone else's clone, how could they have such ability? Being too powerful is also a tiring thing. If you want to be king, you have to inherit the crown first. Is this the logic? Ha ha. As he spoke, Wang Kai laughed out loud. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000 experience, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy points. Congratulations to the host for successfully becoming a mechanic and reaching LV1. Host, Wong Kai profession, mechanic level, LV1 energy, 110 skills, none mecha, none bragging points, 100 experience points, 01000. What does energy mean? Wong Kai frowned and secretly urged his mind to ask. Host, when the energy value reaches 10 points, you could transform into a mechanic and release the abilities of a mechanic. Every 10 points can be maintained as a mechanic for 10 minutes. 10 minutes, 10 energy points, transforming into a mechanic to fight. In that case, if I want to transform into a mechanic, don't I need to brag 9 more times? Wong Kai touched his nose, feeling quite curious. He really wanted to transform into a mechanic and try out his abilities. What about the mecha and skills? Do you have them? Wong Kai asked expectantly. Host, you need to use bragging points to buy the mecha and skills from the system shop. Host, the levels of Universe 3 are divided into LV0, the incompetent, to LV60. You need to reach LV10 to reach the 4th cultivator of true virtue. After that, you need to break through LV10 to become the 5th cultivator of true virtue, and so on. 10 levels to raise the 1st cultivator of true virtue. 60 levels, that's 6 cultivator of true virtue. Now, that Wong Kai was a 3rd cultivator of true virtue. If he added 6 more, he would reach the 9th cultivator of true virtue. Thinking of this, Wong Kai gently nodded. He finally understood the cultivation method of Universe 3. It's a pity that my doppelganger is only a 3rd cultivator of true virtue, yet he was able to enter the extreme evil newcomer organization. I'm afraid it's all because he's crafty and has little to do with strength. No wonder some powerful people in the organization often mock him. Wong Kai shrugged, looking quite speechless. King of Hell, what are you thinking about? Where are we going now? By the way, there are rumors in the outside world that you're going to kill the boss of District 12. Is this true? Chuko asked in surprise. King of Hell, Wong Kai's title in Universe 3 was naturally not given by him, but by others. However, Wong Kai liked this title very much. The boss of District 12, a mechanic of the 5th cultivator of true virtue? Wong Kai narrowed his eyes and smiled playfully. The 5th cultivator of true virtue should be LV50, right? It's quite high, but it's a pity that even if it reaches LV50, compared to my LV1, it's only 2 cultivator of true virtue realms higher. It's just a mere boss of District 12. Why do I need to personally take action? As long as I give the order, that boss of District 12 will definitely roll over, kneel on the ground, and call me Grandpa King of Hell. Wong Kai shrugged and said with a calm expression, Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1,000 experience, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy point. Congratulations to the host for successfully leveling up and reaching LV2. Chapter 1204. Controlling a region and becoming a domain sovereign. Hearing this, Wong Kai looked at him in surprise. He didn't expect his little fan to be so ambitious. Yes, it's good to have hope. Persevere and work hard. One day, you will become the most powerful domain sovereign in the 3rd universe. There's no other way. Who asked you to be my partner? Wong Kai shrugged and smiled with appreciation. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000 experience points, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy points. Congratulations to the host for successfully leveling up to LV19. LV19, only 1 more level to reach the divine realm of the 5th cultivator of true virtue. At that time, he would be able to destroy the so-called boss of the 12th district that his clone found trouble for him. He would be able to clear his name. From now on, the King of Hell wouldn't just be scheming. As for Lu Bu, if he wanted to defeat him and reach the divine realm of the 5th cultivator of true virtue, he would be able to fight against the divine realm of the 6th cultivator of true virtue with the power of God. Sooner or later, he would have to submit. Thinking of this, Wong Kai was quite satisfied. He crossed his legs and shouted, Little brother Lubu, you haven't called your people yet? Why are you so slow? Is it because you don't have the ability? If you don't, you should have said it earlier. I just need to say a few words, and they will all come over. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000 experience points, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy point. Congratulations to the host for successfully leveling up to LV20. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the divine realm of the 5th cultivator of true virtue. Host, Wong Kai profession, mechanic level, LV20 energy, 2010 skills, none mecha, none bragging points, 2,000 experience points, 0,1000 host. Wong Kai profession, God realm, divine realm of the 5th cultivator of true virtue divine technique, none divine skill, none divine weapon, none the power of God, full God divine eye, torch dragon's eyes bragging points, 0 experience points, 0, then call them. I can't call them. Lubu walked back with a black face and an ugly expression on his face. You can't call him? Wong Kai's expression froze when he heard this. He thought to himself that the great god of war Lu Bu actually couldn't summon the other 8 members. The extreme evil newbie organization had a total of 10 newbie bosses. Wong Kai's nickname was King of Hell, while Lu Bu's nickname was God of War. Similarly, there were also Chow Chow, King Wong, Little Wong, and so on. There were a total of 10 members. There were also tens of thousands of followers who followed the new leaders. Moreover, Wong Kai's camp was the weakest. Until now, he didn't have a single follower. Of course, Chu-He was the first one. They said that they're not willing to bet with you and come back. They think that it is a waste of time, said Lubu coldly. Wasting time? You call them back, and they think that listening to you is a complete waste of time? God of War Lubu. You should be called the God of War who is standing, right? Isn't that too weak? Wong Kai frowned and said rather speechlessly, Bastard. Lubu's expression immediately changed. He almost roared. They are not wasting time with me. They are wasting time with you. None of them believe that you can rule District 13, so they will definitely come back to listen to your nonsense. They are just superfluous. What? There's actually such a thing? Bang! Hearing this, Wong Kai suddenly became angry. He slammed the table and stood up, his aura surging. What? Don't tell me you still want to find trouble with them? I advise you to save it. With your ability, you might not even be able to defeat their subordinates. You are just a triple cultivator, Lubu said disdainfully. Indeed, after Wong Kai's clone came to the 3rd universe, he didn't break through. He had always been a triple cultivator. As for the 10 newbie bosses, the lowest was the god of 4th cultivator, and the highest was the god of 6th cultivator. For example, God of War Lu Bu, King and Little King, and Chow Chow were all at the god of 6th cultivator. The rest were at the god of 5th cultivator and 4th cultivator. Hee, you don't believe me? If I'm serious, beating you is very easy. It would be as easy as blowing off dust. Wong Kai shrugged and said indifferently, Congratulations to host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000 experience points, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy point. Congratulations to host for successfully leveling up to LV21. If you have the ability to defeat me, it is indeed very easy for you to defeat the others. I won't argue with you on this point, but the important thing is that you still can't defeat me. Lubu nodded and smiled proudly. Seeing Lubu taking the opportunity to show off, Wong Kai's mouth couldn't help but twitch. If he could defeat him, he could defeat the other members. What did he think of King and Little King? The other members might not be Lu Bu's match, but King and Little King were definitely enough to make Lu Bu suffer. The so-called number 1 in a duel, God of War Lu Bu, had to be at the same level of strength and equipment to be able to do so. It was impossible for him to fight against a powerhouse at his peak with his weak state. He was like the current Wong Kai. He had strength and combat power, but he didn't have high-level skills, high-level weapons, high-level armor, and so on. At the same time, his subordinates were also lacking these. It could be said that in the extremely disgusting newcomer organization, whether it was individual strength or military strength, the strongest were King and Little King, as well as Chow Chow. Let me call them. Bring me the soul tablet. Wang Kai shrugged and said indifferently. The soul tablet was a communication tool in the third universe. It was equivalent to sending a message from 1,000 miles away. You want to send a message in front of me? You have guts. Lu Bu smiled coldly and left the meeting room. After taking the soul tablet, he threw it on the table. The soul tablet was extremely precious in the third universe. Even the extremely evil newcomer organization only had one. At the same time as sending a message, even if the one receiving the message didn't have the soul tablet, the message would still be transmitted to the soul tablet. The first one is God Liu Bei. Wang Kai shrugged. He held the soul tablet and said indifferently, Brother Liu, quickly come back to the base. I have something important to tell you. Okay, wait for me. Liu Bei's voice slowly came. You can only call Liu Bei alone. Lu Bu was extremely disdainful. He knew very well that Wang Kai and Liu Bei's relationship was extremely good. He's still better than you, right? You can't even get one King person to come. Wang Kai curled his lips and retorted mercilessly. Lu Bu snorted. His face darkened, and he didn't say anything. The second one is Chow Chow. Wang Kai held the soul tablet and shouted, Mother Ker Chow Chow. Get your ass back here right now. If you don't, I will kill your whole family. How dare you, King of Hell? Mother Ker. Just you wait. Chow Chow roared. Not to mention Chu Ku. Even Lu Bu was taken aback. He never thought that Wang Kai would use such a method to call people. Chapter 1205. Aren't you afraid of getting beaten up? Even if they won't kill you, they'll definitely beat you up, right? Lu Bu's mouth twitched as he asked in surprise. According to Wang Kai's style, he wouldn't do such a stupid thing. But today, not only did he do it, he did it so ruthlessly. Starting from Chow Chow to the king and little Wang, everyone was scolded by him. Every response was to ask him to wait. As for the meaning of wait, it was self-evident, right? What a joke. Me getting beaten up? Do you think that's possible? Wang Kai shrugged and smiled disdainfully. Then, he said calmly, You need to know that the scariest person in the nefarious newcomer organization isn't the king and little Wang, nor is it you, Chow Chow, or Liu Bei. It's me, King of Hell. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1,000 experience points, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy point. Congratulations to the host for successfully leveling up to LV22. Then what about Guan Yu, Zhang Fei, Xiang Yu, and Cheng Yaojin? Lu Bu narrowed his eyes and sneered disdainfully. The nefarious newcomer organization had a total of 10 bosses. The king and little Wang were the leaders. Below them were Chow Chow, Lu Bu, Liu Bei, Guan Yu, Zhang Fei, Xiang Yu, Cheng Yaojin, and finally, King of Hell. The reason why Chow Chow was able to be ranked third was because of his intelligence, battle prowess, and military strength. They were all very strong. Lu Bu was purely fighting monsters alone. So, even if his combat power was above Chow Chow, he could only be ranked fourth. Liu Bei was ranked fifth because Guan Yu and Zhang Fei were his supporters. They were his 2 younger brothers. As for Xiang Yu, the stronger brainless monster, Cheng Yaojin, although he had many strange moves, he was the weakest. Finally, there was Wang Kai, the King of Hell. He was able to enter the nefarious newcomer organization because of a series of misunderstandings done by his doppelganger. But the King of Hell was famous for his craftiness. Even Chow Chow was afraid of him. It's a pity that there are no women among the top 10 members. Moreover, my ranking is actually behind Cheng Yaojin. Really? Wang Kai shook his head and looked rather speechless. The ones you mentioned are just little brothers to me. They don't have much ability. If I want to deal with them, I just have to flick my fingers, Wang Kai said indifferently. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have gained 1,000 experience, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy values. Congratulations to the host for successfully leveling up to LV23. Haha, you really know how to boast. I only hope that when they come back, you can still boast like this. Lu Bu sneered disdainfully. He sat down on a chair and closed his eyes to rest. Obviously, he didn't want to talk to Wang Kai anymore. King of Hell, how dare you scold me? How dare you scold me? Do you still want to survive? Bang. The one who came back the fastest was Cheng Yaojin. He was different from what Wang Kai had expected. This Cheng Yaojin was as thin as a match. Instead of an axe, he was holding a pitch-black iron pot. He directly waved the pot and smashed it on the table. Then, he glared at Wang Kai and shouted, "Who do you think you are? You're just a god of true virtue. Get the hell out of here." Wang Kai frowned and waved his hand disdainfully. Cheng Yaojin was ranked 9th, and his combat strength was at the god of true virtue. In the past, Wang Kai was indeed not his opponent. But now, Wang Kai had become the god of 5th cultivator of true virtue. If he were to transform into a Jura, he could even fight against Lu Bu. You're really awesome. Do you believe that I won't slap you to death with this pot? Cheng Yaojin sneered. He grabbed the pitch-black iron pot and walked toward Wang Kai. Wang Kai believed that if he refuted him, given Cheng Yaojin's personality, he would definitely beat him up. Do you know how to use it? Wang Kai curled his lips. Then, with a flip of his hand, he snatched the iron pot away. While Cheng Yaojin was still in a daze, he smacked his head. Clang! Plop! The sound of metal clashing resounded, and Cheng Yaojin was sent tumbling, smashing into the ground. His eyes were filled with stars. Clearly, he was dumbfounded after being smacked by the iron pot. He had never thought that Wang Kai would have the ability and courage to hit him. God of true virtue? You've reached the god of true virtue realm? Lu Bu stood up and stared at Wang Kai in disbelief. How long has it been since he became the god of true virtue realm? And now, he's the god of true virtue? There was no mistaking the aura he had just released. The current king of true virtue was indeed the god of true virtue. King of true virtue was really hiding his strength. Is his true strength the god of true virtue? Chuku thought to himself in admiration. The god of true virtue was nothing in the entire 3rd universe, even in the 13th district, but in the extreme evil organization, he was terrifyingly strong. At the very least, he was ranked 4th or 5th. You cheated. Damn it. Why didn't you tell me you broke through to the god of true virtue realm? That way, I could have licked you. Cheng Yaojin got up from the ground and took back the iron pot. Then, he obediently sat on the chair. Since Wang Kai had reached the god of true virtue realm, he was definitely not his opponent. If he continued to argue with him, he would be the one to suffer in the end. I'm coming. At the same time, Xiang Yu, who had an ordinary face and a medium build, sat in front of the table with a big hammer in his hand. Naturally, he saw what happened just now. Therefore, he wouldn't ask much about Wang Kai's scolding. He would treat it as if it didn't happen. Otherwise, wouldn't he be beaten up like Cheng Yaojin? Then, Zhang Fei, Guan Yu, and Liu Bei stepped into the meeting room together. After taking their seats, they all looked at Wang Kai. No one said anything. They were just waiting for the arrival of Cao Cao, Xiao Wang, and their king. King of Hell, are you King arrogant? You even dare to scold Lord Chao. Is your brain fart? Clang. Cao Cao, who was as fat as a pig, strode into the meeting room with a long spear on his shoulder. Then, he smashed the spear on the table and glared at Wang Kai. Enough! Stop talking nonsense. You're only at the god of true virtue realm. If I want to beat you up, it'll be a piece of cake. Wang Kai shrugged and said with an indifferent expression, Congratulations to host for successfully bragging. You've received 1,000 experience points, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy point. Congratulations to host for successfully leveling up and reaching level 24. It was just as Wang Kai had guessed. King, Xiao Wang, Cao Cao, and Lu Bu were all at the god of true virtue realm. Next, Liu Bei, Guan Yu, and Zhang Fei were all at the god of true virtue realm. After that, they were all at the god of true virtue realm. Only King of Hell was at the god of true virtue realm. However, the current King of Hell was a true god of true virtue. His combat power was comparable to the god of true virtue realm. It wasn't difficult to defeat the god of true virtue realm. Chapter 1206. King of Hell, don't brag anymore. You want to brag in front of me with your trifling cultivation? Are you sure you're awake today? Chow Chow shook his big face disdainfully. Hearing this, Lu Bu and the others nodded in agreement. Even though Wang Kai was already at the 5th cultivator of true virtue, he was still no match for Chow Chow, who was at the 6th cultivator of true virtue. Lu Bu and the others knew about Wang Kai's true strength, but Chow Chow didn't. They didn't want to point it out. Instead, they wanted to see Chow Chow beat up Wang Kai. However, Wang Kai wouldn't give them the chance to do so. Okay, you're awesome. Sit down first. When the king and the little king arrive, we'll discuss the matter of ruling the 13th district. Well, it's very easy. We only need a simple method. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and said with a rather indifferent expression, "Congratulations to the host for bragging successfully. You've received 1,000 experience, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy point. Congratulations to the host for leveling up to LV 25. What do you mean by I'm awesome? I'm more awesome than you, okay? Shouldn't we settle the matter of you scolding me before?" Chow Chow sneered. As the 3rd strongest person in the universe, how could he allow the 10th strongest person to insult him? Settle it? Before that, I have to tell you that with a wave of my hand, the 13th district will be reduced to ashes. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes. Congratulations to the host for bragging successfully. You've received 1,000 experience, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy point. Congratulations to the host for leveling up to LV 26. To put it simply, the 3rd district will disappear in the time it takes to blow. Wang Kai smiled and blew. Congratulations to the host for bragging successfully. You've received 1,000 experience, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy point. Are you done bragging? Can we start now? Chow Chow narrowed his eyes and asked coldly. Let's not start now. With your abilities, I can kick you to the end of the universe with a casual flying kick. Wang Kai frowned and kept waving his hand. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have gained 1,000 experience, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy values. Congratulations to the host for successfully leveling up to LV 28. Host, Wang Kai class, mechanic level, LV 28 energy, 2810 skills, none mecha, none bragging points, 2800 experience, 01000. Would he be able to reach the divine realm of 6 cultivator of true virtue with only 2 more badassery left? Wang Kai casually glanced at it. Then, he activated his mind and closed it. Chow Chow, why are you still talking nonsense with him? Wouldn't it be better to just beat him up? Lu Bu said as if he didn't mind, making a big deal out of it. It's none of your business, Chow Chow said coldly. He looked at Wang Kai in shock. It wasn't that he didn't want to attack, but he didn't dare to. Who knew what kind of trap Wang Kai had set? The title of King of Hell wasn't given for nothing. Chow Chow's gaze fell on Chu Ku, who was beside Wang Kai. With a single glance, Zhang Xian's eyes narrowed. A native of the 3rd universe? A mechanic? What level is he? Was this the hidden move that had been set up? He. Chow Chow smiled coldly and chose not to attack Wang Kai. Since Wang Kai dared to provoke him like this, and there was a young mechanic beside him, it undoubtedly proved that this mechanic was very strong enough to threaten him. However, Lu Bu and the others, who knew the truth, heard this and the corners of their mouths twitched. Naturally, they wouldn't blame Chow Chow for being stupid. They could only blame Wang Kai's title of King of Hell. Any abnormal change would attract the attention of others. Especially for Chow Chow, who was also good at scheming, he had to take Chu Ku even more seriously. He's just a little follower of mine. His strength is very weak. However, after my training, it shouldn't be a problem for him to defeat you. Wang Kai shrugged and said with a rather indifferent expression, Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1,000 experience, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy points. Congratulations to the host for successfully leveling up and reaching level 29. Your training? Hee, don't be funny and blow your own trumpet. With your trifling ability, you want to teach others? You really know how to show off. Chow Chow was extremely disdainful. Naturally, He wouldn't believe Wang Kai's nonsense. After testing the young mechanic, Cao Cao would then attack Wang Kai. Senior King of Hell is speaking the truth. Chu Ku agreed and even pretended to be afraid. This kind of fear was not deliberately made by him. It was an expression that he couldn't help but show. It was because he had heard of the name of the formidable Cao Cao and the names of the few bosses present. Moreover, Cao Cao was obviously worried about him, so he didn't make a move on Wang Kai. After this, if he knew that he was nothing, wouldn't he be so angry that he wanted to kill him? You continue to pretend. Hee, as expected of King of Hell's people. Even the ability to pretend to be afraid is so real. Cao Cao gritted his teeth and sneered. When everyone heard this, black lines appeared on their foreheads. They didn't expect Cao Cao to be so afraid of Wang Kai. Obviously, he treated Wang Kai's scheming as a big deal. Even if it was a young man standing next to him, Cao Cao would still have some scruples. It had to be said that people with a lot of thoughts always lived a very tiring life. He's really weak. Any one of your subordinates can kill him thousands of times. Lu Bu finally couldn't hold it in and reminded with a serious expression. No one wanted to see Wang Kai suffer more than Lu Bu. Others didn't want to make Wang Kai unhappy, so they wouldn't say anything. However, Lu Bu couldn't wait to explain. Clap, clap, clap. However, Cao Cao heard this and clapped his hands. He looked at Wang Kai and then at Lu Bu and praised. Not bad, not bad. Very good. You're very good, King of Hell. Even Lu Bu has been roped in by you. Now he knows how to collude with you to set me up? An unknown mechanic and the god of war Lu Bu. Such a lineup could be said to be shocking to Cao Cao. It was really lucky that he didn't make a move just now. Otherwise, he would have to go through a lot of trouble just to deal with Lu Bu. If there was an unknown mechanic. Thinking of this, Cao Cao secretly felt a chill in his heart. He's really weak. Why don't you believe me? Lu Bu's face was as dark as ink. He didn't expect things to develop to this point. He actually said that he was colluding with Wang Kai. How is this possible? Everyone was speechless. They all looked away and didn't say anything at all. They didn't want Cao Cao to think that they were colluding with Wang Kai. When that time comes, things will be difficult to handle. Chu Ku go. Slap him. Wang Kai shrugged, raised his hand, and pointed at Cao Cao opposite him. Chapter 1207. Give him a slap? Chu Ku's body trembled when he heard this. His eyes were filled with panic and hesitation. One had to know that the person in front of him was the formidable Cao Cao. In the 13th district, he was ranked 3rd in the extreme evil new player organization. If he were to slap him with his own ability, wouldn't that be courting death? However, as the King of Hell, Wang Kai was full of tricks and his ability was mysterious. If he ordered him to slap him so confidently, perhaps he would be able to slap him for nothing? The feeling of being able to slap the formidable Cao must be very good, right? However, he was not sure. Therefore, Chu Ku was very hesitant. Haha, you're still pretending. Continue pretending, King of Hell. Don't you want to use this opportunity to deal with me? Cao Cao? Since that's the case, you don't have to hide anymore. I, Cao Cao, am not afraid of you. Cao Cao sneered disdainfully. Facing Chu Ku's fearful appearance, it could be said that he despised him. It was all because his acting skills were too good. He did not even think that Chu Ku was a dog's fart. Regarding this, Lu Bu and the others were speechless. Cao Cao's image in their hearts instantly dropped by a lot. People who were too scheming, too smart, and thought too much, their flaws and weaknesses were too obvious. Chu Ku, don't worry. Go and slap him. With me here, no one in the 13th district can hurt you at all. You need to know that in the future, you will be the ruler of a region. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and smiled indifferently. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000 experience, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy point. Congratulations to the host for successfully leveling up and reaching level 30. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through and reaching the 6th cultivator of true virtue. Host, Wang Kai profession, mechanic level, Level 30 energy, 3010 skills, none mecha, none bragging points, 3000 experience points, 02000 host, Wong Kai profession, God realm, 6 cultivator of true virtue divine techniques, none divine skills, none divine weapons, none the power of God, full God divine eyes, torch dragons eyes bragging points, 0 experience points, 00 the 6th cultivator of true virtue. My experience points have increased to 2,000. Wong Kai narrowed his eyes and casually glanced at it. With a thought, he closed the system page. Then, he waved his hand and said, "Go ahead." All right, I'll listen to Boss Yama." Chuku swallowed dryly, rubbed his hands, and slowly walked to Chow Chow's side. He raised his hand and was about to slap him. Whoosh! But when Chow Chow turned his head and focused his gaze, Chuku's arm directly stiffened in the air. He was completely stunned by that ice-cold and indifferent gaze. He even took a few steps back. "I would rather betray the world than let the world betray me." Chuku clearly felt the feeling of indifference towards all living beings. It was precisely because of this that he was so scared that his face turned pale and his entire body turned cold. It was as if he could die here at any moment. Chow Chow was stunned. He did not expect the mechanic in front of him to not dare to attack him, and even take a few steps back because of his gaze. It did not look like he was faking it at all. Could it be that, as Lu Bu and the others said, Chuku was just a piece of trash that was not even a dog's fart? If that was the case, wouldn't he have lost a lot of face this time? "Damn you, Yama. Is this your plan? You want me, Chow Chow, to be unable to step down? Are you trying to be clever and get caught in a trap of your own making?" Chow Chow was so angry that his face was as dark as ink. He gritted his teeth and hated Wong Kai to the extreme. He originally wanted to wait for Chuku to attack so that he could test his ability. But who would have thought that in the end, he would drag himself into the pit? "Just hit him. I'm here, so don't worry." Wong Kai narrowed his eyes and secretly transmitted his voice. Just as Chow Chow thought, it was too late for him to wake up now. If he resisted and did not let Chuka hit him, then his previous actions would become the laughingstock of the 13th district, and he would become a true idiot. What if he let Chuka hit him? Although he would lose face, it could make up for his own stupid actions. Whether he let Chuka hit him or not, Chow Chow's face would be lost. Of course, if Chow Chow became angry and wanted to kill Chuka, Wong Kai was now at the 6th cultivator of true virtue. Even if he did not use the power of God, he could easily stop Chow Chow. It had to be said that from the beginning, Chow Chow had been tricked into a dead end, and it was a path where he would lose face anyway. "I'll hit you." Slap. Whoosh. Whoosh. Bang. Wow. So strong. You're the 7th cultivator of true virtue. Chuku, who suddenly attacked, slapped Chow Chow's head to the side. Chow Chow's body was constantly sent flying and finally hit the wall. Moreover, Chow Chow deliberately made a defensive posture and even directed his own performance. He took a few steps back and hit the wall hard, spitting out a mouthful of blood. "What?" Seeing this, Lu Bu and the others all stood up in shock. They all looked at Chow Chow in disbelief. They did not expect that Chow Chow could be beaten to the point of spitting out blood. The 7th cultivator of true virtue? Is this young man the 7th cultivator of true virtue? Doesn't that mean that he's stronger than anyone in the nefarious newcomer organization? Even the great king and the little king have to take a step back, right? Damn it, little bastard. After this, I'll definitely order someone to kill you. I'll tear you into pieces and make you disappear from this world forever. Chow Chow thought to himself as he wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. The attack just now was indeed a success. This Chuku was as weak as an ant. Any one of his subordinates could easily cripple him. But at this juncture, Chow Chow could not choose to resist. He could only retreat in defeat to save some face. Moreover, Chuku was at the 7th cultivator of true virtue. Since he could survive one attack from such a powerhouse, even if he was beaten, it would not be too embarrassing. After all, which 6th cultivator of true virtue could defeat a 7th cultivator of true virtue? As long as he secretly ordered someone to kill Chu Ku, Cao Cao's face would be restored. One had to admit that Cao Cao's ability to endure and scheme was not weak. Regarding this, Wang Kai praised him in his heart. Go, give Lu Bu a slap. If he dares to resist, you can kill him directly, said Wang Kai with an indifferent expression while shrugging his shoulders. Still want to hit him? Chu Ku, who was in a daze, immediately came back to his senses. Just now, he was able to slap Cao Cao to the point of spitting out blood. His heart was already filled with horror. Now, he actually wants me to go and fight the god of war, Lu Bu? King of hell, you'd better not go too far. Lu Bu's eyes were about to split open, and his expression was extremely ugly. Even Cao Cao was beaten to the point of spitting out blood and retreating, and under the circumstances where he resisted, how could he be Chu Ku's opponent? Furthermore, Wang Kai specifically said that if he resisted, he would be killed. Chapter 12:08. Who's going overboard? Weren't you good at acting tough in front of me? What's wrong now? Are you scared? I'm sorry, but you have to pay the price for acting tough in front of me. Chu Ku, go and beat him. Wang Kai shrugged and waved his hand disdainfully. Yes, Yama boss. Chu Ku swallowed his saliva and immediately walked to Lu Bu's side. With a flip of his hand, he slapped down without any hesitation. Slap! Bang! Under this slap, Lu Bu did not dare to resist at all. His head was slapped hard onto the table. Seeing this scene, everyone was frightened to the point that their bodies trembled. Cao Cao, on the other hand, was quite satisfied. With Lu Bu losing face like him, it wasn't a big deal. However, because of this, Cao Cao was even more afraid of Wang Kai. The title of Yama was indeed not in vain. Using his own method to deal with the situation, he even tricked Lu Bu. It could be said that he was a ruthless character who took advantage of every move. Yama, you're very good. Lu Bu's face was ashen. He coldly glanced at Wang Kai, stood up, and left. This kind of humiliation made God of War Lu Bu unwilling to stay any longer. It was really shameful. However, Wang Kai had already ordered that if he resisted, Chu Ku would ruthlessly kill him. With such an order, how could Lu Bu dare to resist? Even Cao Cao was beaten to the point of vomiting blood. If he resisted, wouldn't he be killed? Wait, did I say you could leave? Come back and sit down. Wait for the king and little king to come. After I announce this matter, you can leave. Wang Kai crossed his legs and shouted with a rather casual expression. Whoosh! Hearing this, Lu Bu's body suddenly stopped. He could only clench his teeth and walk back with a cold face. However, after he sat down on his seat, he closed his eyes. Clearly, staying in this place was a kind of torment. Seventh cultivator of true virtue, Senior, what's your name? Chung Yaojin waved the black iron pot and asked Chu Ku with a smile. There are some things that you shouldn't ask. Don't ask. Do you want to get beaten up too? Afraid that Chu Ku would let it slip, Wang Kai quickly waved his hand to stop him. Chung Yaojin was so scared that his whole body trembled. He quickly waved his hand and did not dare to ask anymore. However, just as Chung Yaojin thought, other than Cao Cao, Lu Bu, Liu Bei, and the others were all guessing Chu Ku's identity and background. King of Hell, don't go overboard. Chu Ku is just a piece of trash. Don't tell me you want to take control of the nefarious rookies organization. Cao Cao secretly sent a voice transmission to Wang Kai. His tone was solemn and filled with warning. Others might not know Chu Ku's true ability, but Cao Cao was very clear about it. Seeing how fearful the others were of Wang Kai, Cao Cao had a bad feeling. He even felt like he had been caught in a trap of his own making. It was as if he had given Wang Kai a push and helped him reach his current position. This feeling made Cao Cao extremely displeased. However, there was nothing he could do about it. Haha, Cao Cao, you want to secretly kill Chu Ku, right? We're all smart people, so I won't waste words with you. He's my man. You're not allowed to touch him. Otherwise, I'll really kill you. Also, my ambition is not the nefarious rookies organization. What I really want is the entire 13th district. Wang Kai shrugged and looked at Cao Cao indifferently as he replied telepathically. Whoosh! Hearing this, Chow Chow's eyes darkened. He was not surprised that Wang Kai had guessed his thoughts. However, Wang Kai's ambition made Chow Chow very unhappy. The 13th district will be my world. No one can snatch it from me. Even if you're quite capable, you're still lacking a lot of things. Chow Chow calmly replied. He did not say whether he would secretly send someone to kill Chu Ku or not. In this regard, Wang Kai secretly sighed. If he could, he really did not want to kill Chow Chow. After all, there was still some meaning and taste in the world. I have the ability to control the 13th district and even more ability to control the entire third universe. From there, I will attack the second universe, the first universe, establish the divine palace, and become the master of all worlds. At that time, if you follow me, I will make you the majestic emperor. You'll be honored to be one of the overlords under me. Do you understand? Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and secretly transmitted his voice. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1,000 experience, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy points. Make me the emperor, majestic emperor, one of the overlords under you. Haha, I'm sorry, but Chow Chow, will not allow anyone to be on the same level as me. I will not allow anyone to be above me. In this regard, Chow Chow coldly rejected. There was no hesitation, and he was not tempted at all. Forget it. I hope you'll consider it carefully before giving me an answer. However, before that, you'd better not make a move on Chu Ku. Even if you don't have the ability to kill him, I won't let you off. Wang Kai shrugged and replied casually via voice transmission. Chu Ku slapped Chow Chow. That was because he ordered him to do so. It was because of this that he could not let anything happen to him. King of Hell, it's fine if you scold the king, but why did you scold me as well? Have you forgotten that I was the one who recommended you to enter the extreme, evil newcomer organization? Buzz. As a dissatisfied voice sounded, a figure wearing a cloak and a bamboo hat slowly walked into the meeting room. His figure and face could not be seen clearly. The voice was ear-piercing, regardless of gender. His figure and face could not be seen clearly. Everyone thought that he was a man. Wang Kai also thought so. He would not think of a woman at all. After all, this little king was a vicious and merciless person. Moreover, he was a lecherous person. Many beautiful women from Burrow 13 and even the other burrows had been captured by him and used as playthings. Everyone knew about this. It was precisely because Wang Kai's doppelganger was also lecherous that he reached a consensus with this little king and became one of the notorious bad characters. However, Wang Kai knew very well that the bad reputation of his doppelganger was all created by this little king. The women were all snatched away by this little king, and Wang Kai's doppelganger was a scapegoat. To put it bluntly, he was just a scapegoat. Wang Kai was very angry about this. The women were all snatched away by this little king, and his doppelganger had no choice but to take the blame for him. When had such a thing happened, Wang Kai did not even think that he would have such a sullen time. Therefore, this little king had to teach him a lesson. Little king, you're too pretentious, aren't you? I asked you to come over, but you actually came so late. Don't tell me you don't put me in your eyes. Don't you want to stay in District 13 anymore? Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and said coldly. Chapter 1209. Everyone was stunned when they heard this. They did not expect that Wang Kai would dare to insult Lil Wang. Did he not know that Lil Wang was the second strongest person in the evilest newcomer organization? Even Chow Chow and Lu Bu, the god of war, had to step back. Similarly, Lil Wang was even more surprised. After a moment of silence, he asked in a low voice, King of Hell, what's wrong with you today? Wang Kai, are you unhappy that you're my scapegoat? I'm doing this for your own good. If not, would you have the title of King of Hell? Now you're still holding a grudge against me. Are you still a man? Also, don't tell anyone about this. Otherwise, I won't let you go. Lil Wang seemed to be asking normally, but he was secretly sending him a warning through voice transmission. It was as if he was afraid that Wang Kai would tell anyone about this. Wang Kai naturally knew the reason. It was because one of the women that Lil Wang had taken away was the daughter of the domain master of District 9. She was a super beauty with both strength and beauty. Her intelligence was also not bad. However, with Lil Wang's careful planning and Wang Kai's clone's help, she could only fall into the trap in the end. Wang Kai did not know whether she had been played to death by Lil Wang. He only knew that once the news got out, the domain master of District 9 would definitely come to District 13. At that time, Lil Wang would not be able to stop them. Or rather, no one in the entire 13th district could withstand it. You're not a woman, are you? Wang Kai touched his nose and asked secretly through voice transmission. His tone just now was very different from before. It was a tone that would only be used when he was really angry and anxious. I am. Were you beaten up today? Is your brain damaged? Lil Wang was so angry that he scolded him through voice transmission. Is he a woman? Wang Kai did not believe his nonsense. There were only 3 possibilities for such an action of covering up the figure, face, and voice. First, he was ugly and did not dare to show himself. Secondly, she was a real woman. Third, they were eccentric. They liked to dress up like this, but in reality, they had a very special background and didn't want to expose it. Host. The name of this woman is Wang Mimi, the second daughter of the 8th district. Her true strength is at the 7th cultivator of true virtue. Host. Wang Kai class, mechanic level, LV30 energy, 3010 skills, none mecha, none bragging points, 2000 experience, 1000200 Wang Mimi? Had the same surname as him? Or is it the 7th cultivator of true virtue? The second daughter of the domain master of the 8th district? As a woman, what was the point of snatching a beauty? Could it be that she was a homo? Cough, cough. Upon hearing the prompt, Wang Kai was startled and quickly closed the system page. Then, he said in a deep voice, Wang Mimi, I'm afraid you're getting carried away, aren't you? Others might not know who you are, but do you think I don't know? You. Lil Wang's body trembled when he heard this. He did not expect Wang Kai to know who he was. Who are you? Lil Wang asked coldly. His voice also returned to that of a woman's cold questioning. Wang Kai shrugged his shoulders and faintly said via sound transmission, I'm the king of hell, Wang Kai. As for how I know your identity, there's no need for you to ask about it. Just be honest with me. The 7th cultivator of true virtue's realm is nothing but dog fart in front of me. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1,000 experience points, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy point. Congratulations to the host for successfully leveling up to LV31. Since you're here, come and sit down. Wang Kai waved his hand indifferently and did not say much to Lil Wang. However, he had a lot of thoughts in his mind. Lil Wang and the king were brothers to the outside world of the 13th district. Does that mean the king is also a woman? Lil Wang is the second daughter of the domain master of the 8th district. Does that mean the king is a princess? This is interesting. I'll wait for the king to arrive and test her. There's no need to wait for the king. She can't come for the time being. She's not in the 13th district now. If you have something to say, just say it, Lil Wang said in a harsh voice. The king can't come? She's not in the 13th district? Wang Kai was stunned. He squinted his eyes and thought for a while. Then he nodded and said, That's good. From now on, the nefarious newcomer organization will change its name to Divine Palace. I'll be the palace master of Divine Palace, and you'll be the envoys. Bang! Before Lu Bu and the others could say anything, Lil Wang was already angry. He slammed the table and scolded, King of Hell, do you really want to die? I don't think it's feasible, Lu Bu said indifferently. Chow Chow had a different opinion. He said, I agree with the King of Hell's suggestion. However, the position of the palace master depends on one's ability. I agree too, Liu Bei said indifferently. If Big Brother agrees, then the two of us agree. Zhang Fei and Guan Yu looked at each other and nodded. I don't have any objections, Xiang Yu said indifferently. I don't either. Cheng Yaojin also shrugged his shoulders and stroked the black iron pot as if nothing had happened. If that's the case, only Lil Wang, Lu Bu, and the king who hasn't arrived yet will disagree? Wang Kai shrugged and said indifferently, King of Hell, don't go too far. The nefarious newcomer organization is my sister's and my blood and sweat. I won't kill you for what you're doing, but my sister won't let you go either. Lil, Wong warned through telepathy. Wong didn't care at all. He said indifferently, the minority obeys the majority. From now on, the nefarious newcomer organization will be renamed Divine Palace. As for the position of the Palace Master, it will be decided according to Cao Cao's opinion. Okay, I have no objections. Cao Cao was the first to raise both hands in agreement. He even wanted to thank Wang Kai in his heart. Only Wang Kai would dare to make such a bold suggestion. If it were anyone else, they would be scared to death. But this is good too. It helps me. Thinking of this, Cao Cao's blood was boiling. Then how should we compete? Liu Bei asked indifferently. Other than Lil, Wang, and Liu Bu, everyone else looked at Wang Kai. If given the chance, everyone wanted to be the boss. But the prerequisite was to see if they had the confidence. In 1 month, whoever can rule District 13 will be the boss of Divine Palace. Wang Kai raised a finger and smiled. Rule District 13 in 1 month. As soon as he said that, Lil Wang, who was about to get angry, calmed down. He even sneered and said, I'd like to see who can do it. If you can, I don't mind changing the name to Divine Palace. Okay, I agree. Without any hesitation, Cao Cao agreed loudly. Chapter 12:10. I'd rather betray everyone in the world than shut up. No one betrays you, and you can't betray anyone. Wang Kai waved his hand and interrupted him. He glanced at Cao Cao with disdain and then said, From now on, I'm the Palace Lord of the Divine Palace. You can now order your men to go to various places in the 13th District to do good deeds and save the suffering people. Well, spread my name thoroughly. This, Liu Bu and the others looked at each other. Do good deeds? Save the suffering people? Not to mention the people present, none of them had ever done such a thing. Their men had never done such a thing. I'm afraid that once it appears, it will scare those suffering people and make them run for their lives, right? It seems that you're not a good person either. You actually want to spread your good name? Xiao Wang suddenly snorted disdainfully and said mockingly, You want to package yourself and make yourself a good person so that you can do some bad things with righteousness, right? Whoosh. As soon as these words came out, everyone suddenly understood. That's right. Would a good person deliberately leave his name behind when doing things? Glorifying the good name by spreading it? Isn't that packaging yourself? If it was really as Xiao Wang said, Wang Kai was too scary, right? In the name of justice, he did some of the worst things. Even if someone exposed him, no one would believe him because of his righteous name, right? Isn't this the highest level of corruption? Is that really the case? Liu Bu asked coldly. Everyone also looked at Wang Kai. If he nodded and said yes, then this practice was very much in line with everyone's intention. It's not that no one had thought of doing so, but that they disdained to do so. Evil is evil, and good is good. No, I'm a real, upright gentleman. The reason why I want you to spread my name is that I want to rule the entire Universe 3, so that there will no longer be any evil people in the Universe 3, and it will become a loving ahem family. After saying this, Wang Kai couldn't help but shudder. It was really disgusting. He really didn't know how those hypocrites had been trained to succeed. Their psychological quality was simply too high and too terrifying. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have gained 1,000 experience, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy values. What if we don't agree? What would you do? Are you going to kill us? Cao Cao's face was ashen as he asked in a deep voice. This question was the question in everyone's mind. I won't kill you. Instead, I'll imprison you in the same place. I'll call a righteous teacher and teach you about righteousness every day. Well, to put it bluntly, it'll be like a monk reciting scriptures. I'll let you understand some principles. The time limit is 10,000 years. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and said with a playful expression, What? You are shameless. Liu Bu, Xiao Wang, and the others were furious. Were they imprisoned together and had to listen to the teachings of justice that they hated the most? And the time limit was 10,000 years? Even if 10,000 years was nothing compared to the lifespan of everyone present, it shouldn't be wasted like this, right? More importantly, they would be tortured all the time. Who could stand that? It was worse than killing them. I agree with Yin Wang's suggestion. Liu Bei nodded and expressed his submission. Zhang Fei and Guan Yu naturally agreed with Liu Bei's suggestion. I agree as well, Cheng Yaojin said dryly as he waved his black iron pot. Then, Xiang Yu and Lu Bu had no choice but to agree with him. Even the ambitious Cao Cao's face darkened. He chose to agree temporarily. Once he had the chance to resist, he would definitely bite Wang Kai. I can agree to your suggestion temporarily. However, when the king returns, I don't know how this matter will be resolved, Xiao Wang said weakly. After he finished speaking, Xiao Wang turned around and left the meeting room. All of you, go and pass down my order. Before the king returns, if any of you do not do a single good thing, I will make sure you take a good shot, Wang Kai said coldly. Take a shot? Swoosh. Hearing this, everyone's expression changed. Their faces turned green as they hurriedly ran out of the meeting room. Although it was only a temporary submission, they still had to do something to stabilize Wang Kai. When the king returned, it was unknown whether Wang Kai could suppress him or not. In any case, there was still hope for Cao Cao and the others. Senior Yin Wang, what should I do? Chuko asked softly. You. The corner of Wang Kai's mouth twitched. Chuko's strength was too weak. Even if he went out to do good, he might be killed by evil people. After all, if one did bad things, they would be killed by good people. If one did good things, they would also be killed by evil people. In short, neither of them was a good thing. Wang Kai touched his nose and pondered for a moment. Then, he said, Go and gather some information for me. Make a list of all the gods of true virtue in the 13th district, as well as the powers above them, as well as the big shots. I need to know the exact situation in the 13th district. I know all of these people. Even if they are hidden, I know all of them. What I like the most is to inquire about things that I want to know. Chuka grinned and laughed in a rather proud manner. Hearing this, Wang Kai was speechless. Black lines appeared on his forehead as he said, Then go and make a list quickly. It's best if you can do it in detail. I want to look at it slowly. Okay, Senior Yin Wang, please wait for a moment. I will make a list very quickly. Chuko quickly replied, then turned around and left. When Wang Kai was the only one left in the meeting room, the demon sovereign was released from his system. Master, is this the third universe? As soon as the demon sovereign appeared, he spied on the 13th district. When he discovered that there were many experts stronger than him, he was so scared that he quickly retracted his divine sense. The demon sovereign was only a god of true virtue cultivator. But in the third universe, there were countless experts stronger than him. Even in the 13th district, there were countless experts stronger than the demon sovereign. Wang Kai nodded and said indifferently, I want you to do something now. Master, please speak. The demon sovereign quickly waited solemnly. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and said indifferently, Azura has established a demon legion in the 13th district. You will go there and be a spy. As for how you came to the third universe, you only need to tell the truth. I will be killed by Azura. He will definitely suspect something, the demon sovereign said in horror. Although he was very grateful to Wang Kai for being able to come to the third universe, he couldn't just go to Azura and throw away his life, right? Chapter 12:11. You're not any better. You actually want to use the name of justice to promote your kindness and then do all kinds of evil things. You're 1,000 times more evil than us. Little Wang was naturally disdainful of this. Even though the things that the utmost evil organization did were all bad things, they were evil openly. They would not hide anything and let everyone in the 13th district know of their evil reputation. But Wang Kai, on the surface, used the name of justice to deceive the world with a kind appearance and an extremely corrupt heart. It could be said that he was a devil wrapped in human skin. This kind of evil person was the most abominable and also the most difficult to deal with. Don't slander my righteousness. I would never do what you think. It can be said that since I was born, I have always been the incarnation of kindness. Even when I walk, I won't harm the life of an ant. You won't understand this logic. Wang Kai shook his head and sighed with his hands behind his back. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000 experience points, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy point. Congratulations to the host for successfully leveling up and reaching level 39. Hearing the notification, Wang Kai was startled. He was only 1 level away from reaching the true divine realm of 7th cultivator of true virtue. At that time, there was nothing to be afraid of in the 13th district. Stop pretending to be righteous. You need to know that if you don't want others to know, don't do it in the first place. Just as you said, paper can't wrap fire. Everything will be revealed in the light. Little Wang snorted with disdain. In this regard, Wang Kai's eyes lit up, and he looked at her with admiration. He nodded and praised. Not bad, not bad. It seems that you are very talented. Under my influence, you have learned such righteous words. You are not far from being completely righteous. Shut up, damn bastard. Little Wang reprimanded angrily. The pretty face hidden under the mask was already filled with shame and indignation. Under Wang Kai's righteous words, she had also followed him. Go ahead. I will secretly follow you with my divine sense. If you are really in danger of losing your life, I will save you. Don't worry. As long as I don't want to, even the strongest person in the first universe won't be able to discover my divine sense, let alone Azura. Wang Kai shrugged and said with a confident expression. Wang Kai was not boasting about this matter at all. Indeed, under the protection of the system, any strong person would not be able to discover Wang Kai's divine sense. It could be said that as long as Wang Kai deliberately hid, no one would be able to find Wang Kai. Although the demon lord did not believe it, he had no choice but to believe it. Otherwise, wouldn't he be killed by Wang Kai? The demon lord obviously did not want to suffer such a loss. Through this matter, the demon lord thoroughly understood that everything depended on one's own strength. If one's strength was weak, no matter where one went, no matter who they recognized as the boss, they would have no right to speak. They were like fish on a chopping block, waiting to be slaughtered. In the end, the demon lord left the Pentagon with anxiety and uneasiness and rushed to the demon territory 3,000 miles away at full speed. On the way, Wang Kai's divine sense followed him, saving him a lot of trouble. After all, Wang Kai was using the power of God to send out his divine sense, and his battle prowess was at the 7th cultivator of true virtue realm. In Area 13, no one dared to provoke the 7th cultivator of true virtue. Of course, this was unless it was necessary. When you're about to safely arrive at the devil's territory, I will conceal my divine sense. This way, the Azura won't be able to discover my existence. Wang Kai furrowed his brows, secretly transmitted a message, and then cut off the connection with the Devil Sovereign. What do you want to do to the demon army? Little Wang asked in surprise. Now that Wang Kai had sneaked into the extreme evil newcomer organization, his goal was very simple: to seize control of the organization. Now, he was extending his evil palm to the demon army 3,000 miles away. Moreover, he had sent a demon lord who was acquainted with Azura. Although it was said that he was undercover, what was the ultimate goal of this undercover? Could it be that he wanted to control the demon army? Wasn't such ambition a bit too big? Naturally, I want to control the demon army and teach them to change their name to the righteous army. Demons, as the name implies, are just like you, people who commit crimes. Is it necessary to keep such an evil force around? Wang Kai shrugged his shoulders and stated his true purpose, not boasting or anything. After teaching all the evil forces, his good name would resound throughout Area 13 and even the entire third universe. At that time, no one would suspect anything he wanted to do. Even if he killed someone and forcibly occupied a beautiful woman's body, as long as he said afterward that he didn't do it and someone slandered him, he would inevitably be forgiven and believed by the world. It couldn't be helped. This was the benefit of being a hypocrite. The world wouldn't suspect him because no one had seen it with their own eyes. Even if they did suspect him, it would depend on who the target was. If it was someone famous for being kind, the world wouldn't suspect him at all. They wouldn't even think in that direction. Back in the immortal martial domain, didn't the sect master of the supreme Taoist sect, the hypocrite Dean, do the same? At that time, even the Fanzhou Empress was deceived by his kindness. If it weren't for the fact that he was forcefully suppressed and exposed, he would probably be cursed and pursued by the world if he casually killed him. Your ambition is really big, and it really disgusts me. The real bad person is you, not me, not my sister, and not the extreme evil newcomer organization. You are much more hateful and abominable than us. Little Wang sneered coldly. She had always felt and believed that Wang Kai was definitely not a kind person. Everything that was happening now was definitely just an illusion. Regarding this, Wang Kai also felt extremely distressed. It seemed that some of the things that his clone had done made it difficult for little Wang to change her perception of him. However, fortunately, the things that his clone had done weren't too bad or evil. There was still room for redemption. It was just that it would take some effort. As long as he could make little Wang believe that he was the true, righteous person, it would be enough. This way, the hypocrite's plan would be completely successful. Thinking of this, Wang Kai looked at her expressionlessly and said indifferently, "I won't argue with you. Whether it's good or evil, it's evil. Reputation will be judged by the people of the world in future generations. I only need to do my part and do the righteous things that I want to do. This is the most correct way of doing justice." Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000 experience, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy points. Hearing this, little Wang instantly fell silent. No matter what Wang Kai said, she still didn't believe him in her heart. Chapter 12:12. Senior King of Hell, I've already made a list of all the big shots of the 13th district, including those above the gods of true virtue. Chuku excitedly rushed into the conference room with a scroll in his hand. What are you planning to do with the other big shots of the 13th district? Young Wang was surprised after hearing these words. Not to mention the fact that he had sent a spy to Azura of the Fiend Legion. Now, even the big shots above the gods of true virtue were under Wang Kai's control. Just how big was his ambition? The strongest in the 13th district are the gods of true virtue, and there are only 2 of them. Wang Kai frowned as he opened the scroll and glanced at it. It was clearly written that there were more than 9,000 big shots of the gods of true virtue, less than 300 of the gods of true virtue, and only 2 of the gods of true virtue. With more than 9,000 gods of true virtue, such strength was worthy of being called the 13th district, which was ranked 13th out of the 10,000 districts of the Third Universe. From this, it could be seen how strong the 12 districts before the 13th district were. Correct. In addition, the strongest forces are divided into 3 ranks, and each of them is a subordinate force. Every big shot of the gods of true virtue has at least 20 or 30 subordinates of the gods of true virtue. Finally, the 2 gods of true virtue each control half of them. Chuka said, there are more than 9,000 big shots of the gods of true virtue, and they belong to the lowest rank. As for the middle rank, there were more than 300 gods of true virtue, and each of them had 20 or 30 subordinates of the gods of true virtue. Finally, the 2 gods of true virtue equally divided the 13th district. The gods of true virtue are pitifully weak. If I want to destroy them, I can do so with a snap of my fingers. Wang Kai shrugged his shoulders and smiled with a proud expression. Congratulations to host for successfully bragging. You've received 1,000 experience, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy point. Congratulations to host for leveling up and reaching LV40. Congratulations to host for breaking through and reaching the god of true virtue. Host, Wang Kai occupation, mechanic level, LV40 energy, 5010 skills, Energy Splitting Mecha, Golden Cannon Bragging Points. 1. 500 Experience. 02000 Host. Wong Kai Occupation, God Realm, of True Virtue Divine Techniques. None Divine Skills. None Divine Weapons. None the Power of God. Full Spirit Divine Eye. Torch Dragons, Eye Bragging Points. 0 Experience. 0. He had finally reached the deity of True Virtue Realm. At that time, if he used the power of God, which was at the level of an all-god, he would have the strength of an 8th cultivator of true virtue. Right now, Wong Kai was already one of the strongest in District 13. Compared to Azura, he was already at the same level of combat power. However, once Azura reached the 8th cultivator of true virtue, the gap between them would increase again by relying on his ability to jump one realm. Regarding this, Wong Kai was extremely displeased, but there was nothing he could do. Azura isn't one of the 2 gods of true virtue. From the looks of it, Azura has concealed himself quite deeply. Although he's only the 7th god of true virtue, he should be able to kill the 8th god of true virtue. Wong Kai narrowed his eyes and was secretly surprised. Wong Kai faintly asked, "Among the hidden experts, are there any 8th cultivators of true virtue?" Chu Ku directly shook his head and said with a firm tone, "Absolutely not. There are only 2 8th cultivators of true virtue in District 13. One is the Heavenly Overlord, and the other is the Earthly Overlord." Heavenly Overlords, huh? This title is rather interesting. Wong Kai shrugged his shoulders and didn't believe Chu Ku's words. After all, the true realm of the king was the 8th cultivator of true virtue. Chu Ku didn't know about this matter. Therefore, Wong Kai wasn't sure whether there were other powerhouses of the 8th cultivator of true virtue in District 13. Let's start with the more than 300 powerhouses of the 7th cultivator of true virtue. Wong Kai crossed his hands behind his back and thought for a while. Although his current realm had reached the 7th cultivator of true virtue, and he could fight against the 8th cultivator of true virtue and even defeat him, he couldn't act rashly because of the existence of the 8th cultivator of true virtue. Otherwise, he would be beaten back before he could spread the name of justice. Little King, when will the king reach the Pentagon? I'm getting impatient from waiting. I really want to slap her and make her understand the meaning of justice. Wong Kai frowned and casually asked, "Congratulations to host for successfully bragging. You've received 1,000 experience, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy point." Little King coldly said, 3 days. She only needs 3 days, and the king will definitely return. At that time, you will definitely die a horrible death. 3 days, huh? After hearing these words, Wong Kai gently nodded his head and indifferently said, "Since that's the case, I'll go out and take a look. When she returns, I'll come over and teach her a lesson. In any case, it's just a matter of blowing air. It's very simple. Congratulations to host for successfully bragging. You've received 1,000 experience, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy point. Congratulations to host for successfully leveling up and reaching level 41. You can kill the king with just a blow of air." Hearing these words, Chu Ku was somewhat dumbfounded. Little King, on the other hand, was extremely disdainful but did not give any response. In her opinion, after her sister came over, what awaited Wong Kai was only death. There would not be any mistakes or changes at all. Since she had already judged Wong Kai to be a dead man, why should she argue with him? He didn't want to provoke him. After all, he wasn't a match for him now. Chu Ku, you stay here and supervise the good deeds done by the other members in my name. If anyone does not do well, you can directly punish them without mercy. Do you understand?" Wong Kai said with a rather serious expression. In response, Chu Ku hurriedly nodded in agreement. After seeing Wong Kai's ability, it could be said that he admired him even more now. Moreover, he had even slapped Lu Bu and Chow Chow's mouths and did not receive any danger after that. Since that was the case, what was there to be afraid of? "Why don't you come with me?" Wong Kai shrugged, put away the scroll, and looked at Little King. "Me? Come with you? Where to? What for?" Little King asked coldly. Naturally, I want to go to the more than 300 big shots of the 7 cultivators of true virtue and make them submit to me with absolute strength, Wang Kai said matter-of-factly. I'm sorry, I'm still injured. I can't help. You don't need to do anything. I can do it myself. You just need to watch from the side and see how I beat up the big shots. I'll let you know that my strength is increasing at a speed that you can't understand. Wang Kai shrugged and smiled indifferently. Then he stretched out his hand and cut open space. I can choose not. Do you have a choice? Wang Kai frowned and interrupted indifferently. Then he said indifferently, You are the leader of the bad guys. Naturally, you have to be by my side at all times. I will personally teach you how to correct your mistakes. Don't talk nonsense. Let's go. Damn it. When my sister comes back, I'll definitely ask her to spare your life. Let me torture you for the rest of your life. I'll make you beg for death. Little King secretly swore in his heart and followed Wang Kai without saying a word. Chapter 12-13. Senior King Yinluo is really domineering. No, since I've become Senior King Yinluo's first subordinate, I must display Senior King Yinluo's strength. Chuka looked at Xiao Wang, who didn't dare to refute, and became very excited. He picked up the soul tablet and said, Chow Chow, what the hell are you doing? Damn it, have you done any good deeds? Ah, you dare to refute me? I'll tell Senior King Yinluo right now and beat you up. Damn it, hurry up and do good deeds. Then personally write down the details of what happened and send it to the meeting room of the Pentagon. Hey, is that Lu Bu? Damn it, what are you doing? Chuka's reprimanding and giving orders could be heard from time to time in the meeting room. It could be said that he had scolded all the other members. Chuku was currently immersed in his enjoyment and had no idea that he had provoked a group of ferocious tigers. At the same time, in a town called Gaia City in the 13th district, Wang Kai was wearing a black suit and a top hat. He was holding a black wooden staff in his hand as he walked into the city with an indifferent expression. Xiao Wang, who had a weak aura, followed behind him unhappily. It was as if she had become a servant girl or a servant girl. Why is this Gaia City so dilapidated? Compared to the surroundings of the Pentagon, it's simply too trashy, right? Is 7th cultivator of true virtue's boss really here? Wang Kai furrowed his brows and purposely shouted. Although he seemed to be talking to Xiao Wang, his voice was actually transmitted to the entire Gaia City so that everyone in the city could hear him clearly. It's not that a good building or scenery proves that the force is powerful. Strength is judged by the dilapidated place. The more dilapidated a place is, the more intense the battle is. It's precisely because of this that the city is so dilapidated. Compared to this place, the surroundings of the Pentagon are still very peaceful, Xiao Wang reminded in a low voice. In his heart, one could say that he felt ashamed and angry for Wang Kai. He didn't even know this, yet he still came out to talk casually. Wasn't he afraid of being laughed at by others? Oh, the more broken it is, the more powerful it is. Wang Kai rubbed his nose and nodded as though he understood. Turning to look at the people around him, he said lightly, All of you are subordinates of Big Boss Gaia, right? Since that's the case, let your big brother come out. I want to take him in as my little brother. Taking in a Gaia big shot as a lackey? Was it that direct? As soon as he said that, not to mention the people around him, even Lil Wang was speechless. He had never seen such a direct method of subduing. Wasn't he deliberately trying to stir up trouble? Which person who could become a big shot didn't have face? How could he allow such a thing to happen? Even a clay figurine would have a temper, right? Xiao Wang, who is this idiot? Why did you bring him to Gaia City? Our Gaia bigwigs think highly of your abominable rookie organization. Do you think you can disrespect our Gaia City now that your wings have hardened? A few Gaia City cultivators, who were triple cultivators, stood out without any fear. After a few words, the number of cultivators gathered around them increased. They were dressed in all sorts of different clothes. It was like a hodgepodge of immortal cultivators, divine cultivators, magical cultivators, earthlings, etc. Some of the women were clearly dressed in maid attire, or white-collared attire. There were stockings of all sorts of colors. In this regard, Wang Kai found it rather pleasing to the eye. Let your Gaia bigwigs come out. Otherwise, your Gaia city will be reduced to ashes. This is not my intention. I was forced to come here, Lil Wang said weakly. Although he was unwilling, he could only speak the truth. Of course, Lil Wang was also very disdainful of Gaia City. If he were to display his true abilities, he would be able to destroy Gaia City on his own. You were forced? He's stronger than you? Everyone was stunned when they heard that. They all focused their gazes on Wang Kai. At first, they thought that he was just Lil Wang's subordinate. Isn't he the king of hell? What? King of hell? Lil Wang, you are lying again. King of hell is only ranked 10th in your nefarious newcomer organization. He is the weakest piece of trash. Even if he has some brains and is very crafty, he is still the weakest piece of trash. That's right. This piece of trash actually said that he could force you? Stronger than you? If you really want to interfere with our Gaia City's matters, just say it. There's no need to be so pretentious. In an instant, under the careful scrutiny of the crowd, they immediately recognized Wang Kai's face. King of Hell's name was extremely well known in the 13th district. Being crafty was one thing, but the most important thing was his strength. He was only a triple divine cultivator, which was why he was so famous. You guys are really noisy. If I told you to call Gaia out, just do it immediately. If you talk any more nonsense, I will destroy you. Do you believe me? Wang Kai frowned and said with a displeased expression, Destroy us? Ha ha, what a joke. Not to mention that you don't have the ability. Even Lil Wang behind you doesn't have that ability. The crowd didn't believe him at all and looked at him with disdain. Regarding this, Wang Kai was speechless. He shook his head and said, Your Gaia City hasn't done many bad things, but you have done bad things. That is why I came to subdue you and lead you to create a perfect and righteous 13th district. Unfortunately, you guys don't listen. Buzz. As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Kai flipped his hand and waved his wooden staff. Immediately, several green lights pierced through and suppressed the surrounding people, causing them to kneel on the ground with pale faces. Furthermore, a green guillotine appeared above their heads. As long as it fell, the guillotine would chop off their heads. The threat of death was extremely real. The crowd couldn't believe that the king of hell, who had always been known as the weakest and the weakest piece of trash, who was nothing but crafty and crafty, had become so powerful. It was one thing for the gods of true virtue and gods of true virtue to be suppressed, but even the leader of the gods of true virtue was suppressed. Since you guys haven't done too many bad things, I won't kill you. I still need you to do good deeds for me, but only this time. If you dare to speak rudely again, you should know the consequences. Wang Kai shrugged and waved his hand to disperse the power. The people who were released all swallowed a mouthful of saliva and looked at Wang Kai with pale faces. The arrogance from before had completely disappeared. I told you guys to quickly call Gaia out, but you chose not to believe me and even dare to insult me. Even if the king of hell doesn't kill you, I will. That's enough. You can't kill anyone without my permission. Every life is an important thing. How can you destroy it as you please? Wang Kai shrugged and interrupted impatiently. Every life is important? Can't be destroyed? Such words made Lil Wang feel extremely disgusted, but there was nothing he could do. Chapter 12:14. Cough, cough. Seventh cultivator of true virtue. King of hell, you actually reached the seventh cultivator of true virtue. Gaia raised his hand and wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. Then, he got up from the ground while coughing up blood. He coldly looked at Wang Kai and said in a grave tone, I'm willing to submit to you and agree to create a kind, perfect, and powerful. Stop dreaming. An evil person like you who has committed all kinds of evil deeds does not have the qualifications to work with me. Just now, I originally intended to let you live. Unfortunately, you wanted to point your weapon at me and even wanted to kill me. Since that is the case, there is no need for an evil person like you to live. Wang Kai coldly waved his hand and interrupted him. Then, with a tap of his foot, he arrived in front of Gaia and slapped him, crushing his head on the spot. Congratulations to the host for successfully killing the 7th cultivator of true virtue. You've received 1,000 experience points. Congratulations to the host for successfully leveling up and reaching level 43. Killing an expert of the same realm only gives me 1,000 experience points. After hearing the notification, Wang Kai wasn't satisfied at all. However, it didn't matter. With his current experience points, breaking through wasn't that difficult. Gaia is dead. Heavens! Gaia is really dead. Ha ha ha! Long live the king of hell. All of a sudden, Gaia's subordinates started to cheer. There were even a small number of them who cried tears of joy. Regarding this, Wang Kai was very puzzled. Just a moment ago, they were so loyal and respectful, but now they were crying tears of joy? How much did they hate Gaia? And how much patience did they have? Wolf Fang Hammer, a flame grade weapon. There's also a skill of the flame grade. You guys can divide them among yourselves. I'll take the weapon and the skill. As for the other things, you could distribute them among yourselves. Wang Kai shrugged his shoulders and took the Wolf Fang Hammer and the skill. Then, he turned around and threw Gaia's spatial ring to them. Are you really giving it to us? Everyone looked at the spatial ring on the ground and swallowed a mouthful of saliva. They looked at Wang Kai in disbelief. The wealth of the 7th cultivator of true virtue was definitely unimaginable. Even though the most precious weapons and skills have been taken away, the value of the other items was definitely not low. They were useful to everyone. Yes, let this little girl decide the allocation. You were the first to answer me just now. In the future, Gaia City will be left to you to manage. Together, we will create a perfect, kind, and powerful 13th district. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and looked at a young girl in a pink dress. Although she wasn't very beautiful, she had her own unique charm. Of course, even if Wang Kai was interested, he couldn't show it. After all, what Wang Kai wanted now was for a woman to pursue him. The result was very obvious. The young girl blushed and obediently stepped forward, picked up the spatial ring, and nodded her head. Yes, I will definitely remember your Majesty's words. Wang Kai shrugged his shoulders and waved his hand with an indifferent expression. No need to call me your Majesty. In the future, you can call me by my real name, Wang Kai. We are all brothers, and in the future, there will be no distinction between high and low. If you have any problems, just tell this young girl and tell her to look for me. If I can help, I will definitely help. Although the young girl was very young, her strength was very high. She was a dignified 6th cultivator of true virtue. Outside of Gaia City, she could be considered a small boss. It would be very easy for him to rule Gaia City. Even if there were any troubles, Wang Kai would help her. Therefore, everyone was very clear about the situation, and no one dared to disobey. Of course, this kind of hesitation wasn't due to fear. Although they were afraid, it was more due to their worship and faith in Wang Kai. You killed the 7th cultivator of true virtue, but got a bunch of trash from the 6th cultivator of true virtue, 5th cultivator of true virtue, and 4th cultivator of true virtue. You are really stupid. After walking out of the territory of Gaia City, little Wang finally couldn't bear it anymore and ridiculed him. Trash! After hearing her words, Wang Kai pretended to be cold. He stopped, turned around, and solemnly looked at her. Everyone's life is important, and people aren't divided into ranks. You need to know that everyone is equal. Don't say such words again. Otherwise, I won't let you off. Little Wang's breathing suddenly stopped. She didn't expect Wang Kai to still be a hypocrite. There's no one else here. You can brag about yourself. You've successfully gained control of Gaia City. Although those people aren't strong, they can create a good reputation and prestige for you. If you kill the chicken to warn the monkey, I'm afraid the other bosses will soon know about it. Little Wang changed her method and spoke the truth in her heart. Looks like you really want to be taught a lesson by me, right? Wang Kai looked at her coldly, shook his head, and sighed. Why can't you understand? Am I that kind of person? Forget it. You can think whatever you want. I won't change what I want to do. Good is good. Evil is evil. I have justice in my heart, and I'm not afraid of others' guesses. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1,000 experience, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy value. Shameless. Do you think I'll believe you? Little Wang sneered disdainfully. If she believed Wang Kai's nonsense, then she would undoubtedly be the stupidest person. Regarding this, Wang Kai was also very helpless. He couldn't understand how little Wang knew that he was definitely a bad person. Could it be that she relied on her woman's sensitivity? If he didn't have to pretend to be a gentleman now, Wang Kai would definitely ruthlessly teach her a lesson. He would even strip her naked, give her a few slaps, and throw a few oxen. However, that kind of thing couldn't be done for the time being. Wait for your sister to come back. She will understand my true thoughts. You are still too inexperienced. Wang Kai shrugged, looked at her indifferently, and took out a scroll to read. Next target, White Bone Cities. White Bone Spirit. There's actually White Bone Spirit. 7th cultivator of true virtue. Wang Kai looked at it, and his expression suddenly froze. He couldn't help but touch his chin and playfully smiled in his heart. Should I find Zhu Beiji or Tang Sanzang? White Bone Spirit should have a deep relationship with them, right? Although the word White Bone Spirit was different from White Bone Spirit, wouldn't it be interesting if Tang Sanzang and Zhu Beiji met? Wang Kai really wanted to see what kind of expression Tang Sanzang would have after seeing White Bone Spirit. After all, it was because of him that Tang Sanzang was almost killed by Sun Wukong. Little Wang suddenly sneered and reminded, "You'd better not find trouble with her." White Bone Spirit is one of the 8 cultivators of true virtue, the lover of the Earth Overlord. You'll die. Ah, the Earth Overlord's lover? Wang Kai suddenly twisted his brows, and with a playful expression, he said with a playful smile, "Just a mere 8 cultivators of true virtue. Didn't I say before? Killing tens of thousands of them is not a problem at all. However, I generally don't kill people. The most important thing is to tame and educate them." Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000 experience, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy value. Congratulations to the host for successfully leveling up, reaching level 44. Chapter 12:15. In the end, you're just afraid of the Earth Overlord, right? Wang Kai rubbed his nose, looked at her with disdain, and said indifferently, "Your sister, a dignified cultivator of the 8th cultivator of true virtue, is actually afraid of the Earth Overlord, who is also at the 8th cultivator of true virtue. Are you from the 8th district or not? If even the boss of the 13th district is afraid, then what are you doing here? Bastard? We're not bastards. Damn it, don't compare us to you. You're finally willing to admit that you're not a good person at all, right?" Little Wang sneered disdainfully. "Ah, this, that." Wang Kai's face suddenly stiffened, and he felt extremely embarrassed. He quickly waved his hand and said, "You're wrong. What I mean is, when facing a powerful villain, you have to learn to be strong and unyielding and believe that you can defeat him. Only then will you be able to carry out justice to the end. I am such a strong and righteous knight." Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000 experience, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy values. Congratulations to the host for successfully leveling up and reaching LV 45. Enough. Stop pretending. Let me tell you, a person's nature cannot be hidden, nor can it be hidden for long. To put it bluntly, you don't have the ability to be a hypocrite, Xiao Wang said with a sneer. Swish. Hearing this, Wang Kai's brows suddenly twisted. He thought to himself, "Is what I did not do enough? Well, it seems that I have to pay attention to my words and actions. I have to maintain a righteous attitude at all times, and I can't be unrestrained. Yes, that's it." Wang Kai touched his nose and thought to himself. Immediately, Wang Kai put his hands behind his back, and his face became expressionless. It was impossible to tell what he was thinking, as if he was an iceberg. "I will carry out justice to the end, because I am justice," Wang Kai said indifferently. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000 experience, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy values. I can only say that the level of your disguise has improved yet again. Unfortunately, you're still not a good person to me, Lil Wang said coldly. Regarding this, Wang Kai didn't care at all. There were countless beauties in the third universe, and Xiao Wang wasn't the only one. She could think whatever she wanted. The main thing was to develop in an all-round way. Thinking of this, Wang Kai put his hands behind his back and expressionlessly walked in front of the skeleton. He said indifferently, "Please report that I want to see your city lord, the white-boned spirit." Report it? Hee. Baigu was obviously very familiar with these words. He vaguely remembered that when he came to White-Boned City, didn't he say the same thing? When he met the White-Boned Spirit, he hoped to be recognized and follow the White-Boned Spirit. It's no problem to report it. It's very simple. First, hand over your soul. Our city lord can only see her soul, not her physical body. Boy, this is for your own good. If you anger the city lord, her physical body will be destroyed. You should know that the city lord is a skeleton. Although she looks as beautiful as a flower, in reality, she doesn't have a physical body. You can imagine what she would do if she saw someone with a complete physical body. The skeleton was orderly, as if he was reciting a textbook. He said all the words he had learned before, and not a single word was missing. Hand over my soul? Okay, I promise you. Buzz. Wang Kai was expressionless and readily agreed to his request. Immediately, he tapped his glabella, and his soul flew out of his physical body. However, Wang Kai's physical body was still standing. It was not like the skeleton when his soul was alive, and his physical body fell to the ground. Regarding this, the skeleton was also quite surprised. He couldn't help but praise, "You are very good. It seems that you should be a righteous hero. You have such a proud character. Come, go into the chains yourself." Chains? Wang Kai frowned when he heard this. He glanced at the white bone chains that appeared in the sky and suddenly understood. He nodded and said, "Can I see the white bone spirit if I am bound by the chains? Nothing will happen to me, right?" The skeleton was obviously stunned when he heard this. He didn't expect this boy to ask so directly. He vaguely remembered that he had doubts in his heart before, but he didn't dare to ask. "Don't worry, nothing will happen. I will bind your soul and bring it to see the city lord because I don't want you to do anything disrespectful. Don't worry." The skeleton quickly replied. As the city lord of a city, he had to be on his guard. It was not wrong to be asked to see the white-boned spirit like this. The skeleton had thought so before, which was why he was bound by the white-bone chains. In the end, he lost his physical body and became the lowest level guard. "Oh, okay." Wang Kai nodded gently. Like a normal person, his soul was bound by the white-bone chains. Then, he said indifferently, "Can we go see the city lord now?" Hee, you're very smart. You did not learn from the second type of person. Most people choose not to enter White-Bone City in the end and don't want to see the white-bone spirit again. Unfortunately, those people's fates were very tragic. They were bound and strangled to death by the chains. The skeleton proudly told Wang Kai what he had heard. "Oh, what about the first type of person?" Wang Kai said indifferently. "The first type of person is the current you. In the end, you still foolishly believe that you can see the city lord after handing over your soul and physical body. You don't know that in order to see the city lord, you have to become one of us. I'm going to eat your physical body now." Uh-huh. The skeleton laughed loudly. He was in an extremely good mood. He had just been tricked into eating his physical body and became a guard. Then, he met an idiot who took the initiative to help him free himself and be promoted to a soldier who cultivated in the city. Regarding this, the skeleton was extremely happy. "Sigh, I originally wanted to give you a way out and let you understand the value of life and the importance of justice. Unfortunately, you have lost this opportunity." Wang Kai's soul shook his head and sighed indifferently. Then, he used his strength and directly shattered the white bone chains. His soul instantly returned to his physical body. "This? You? How is this possible?" You can actually break free from the chains when you're bound. The skeleton was so frightened that he fell to the ground. He vaguely remembered that when his soul was bound, he could not use any strength. He could only watch helplessly as his physical body was eaten. There's nothing impossible about it. You can't break free because you're not as strong as the white bone spirit. If I can break free, it naturally proves that I'm much stronger than the white bone spirit, Wang Kai said indifferently. Chapter 12:16. Spare my life, Senior, spare my life. I have eyes but failed to recognize Mount Tai and angered Senior. I hope Senior can be magnanimous and let me go. The skeleton cried and begged for mercy. The complacency it had just now had disappeared. Who would have thought that a youngster who looked so young actually had such ability? Even the white bone spirit was not his opponent. The white bone chain could not restrain him at all. How powerful was he? How could he have such strength? Forget it. I originally intended to kill you and let a villain like you cut off your evil thoughts. I could let you reincarnate and become a good person useful to the third universe. However, since this is your first offense and you have not sowed any evil karma, I will spare your life today. In the future, be a good person, cough cough, be a skeleton. Wang Kai shrugged his shoulders. With a wave of his hand, the strength of the skeleton immediately increased, directly reaching the level of the god of true virtue. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000 experience, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy value. Congratulations to the host for successfully leveling up and reaching level 46. I help you to raise your realm. In the future, follow me and do good deeds. From now on, you will be called Goodbone. Wang Kai said indifferently with his hands behind his back. Goodbone? Hearing this, the skeleton obviously did not like this name. However, thinking about the increase in realm, it immediately said gratefully, "Thank you, Master. Don't call me Master. In the future, just call me Master Wang." Yes, Master Justice. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and smiled faintly. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000 experience, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy value. Master Wang, Goodbone quickly responded. You have the ability to help people increase their strength? Little Wang slowly walked over and looked at Wang Kai in surprise. Even the god of true virtue did not have the ability to help others increase their realm. At least, it had to be the god of true virtue. In this regard, Wang Kai was very disdainful. There were simply too many ways to rely on the cultivation methods of the god of true virtue. Just now, he had only given 10% of his strength to this Goodbone. If he wanted to recover, it would be a piece of cake. However, it was Wang Kai's limit to reach the 5th god of true virtue. If he wanted to help others raise their realms and reach a higher level, he would have to break through continuously. He would have to reach a higher realm first. Wang Kai shrugged and said with an indifferent expression, "In the face of justice, nothing is impossible. I have justice in my heart, and I do righteous things. Naturally, I will be helped by the world of Universe 3. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have gained 1,000 experience, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy values. Congratulations to the host for successfully leveling up to LV 47. If you have justice in your heart, then there would be no justice in this world." Xiao Wang sneered disdainfully. Naturally, he wouldn't believe Wang Kai's nonsense. "Master Wang, do you want to see the white bone demon because you want to kill her and punish her?" Shangu suddenly asked in a low voice. "No, you're thinking too much. He just wants to do something that no one knows about with the white bone spirit. He'll even take the opportunity to build his good side. You're talking too much." Before Xiao Wang could finish speaking, Wang Kai looked at her indifferently. His eyes were filled with coldness, as if he would kill her at any time. However, the coldness and killing intent soon turned into indifference. However, Xiao Wang had seen it clearly just now. Because of this, she was even more certain that Wang Kai was definitely not a good person. Everything he did was done with a purpose in mind. To dominate Universe 3, to build a good reputation, to be able to do all kinds of bad things without any hindrance or controversy. Thinking of this, Xiao Wang's delicate body trembled slightly. She secretly felt that Wang Kai's ambition was as terrifying as the darkness that he hid. After this exchange of glances, Xiao Wang had completely lost all thoughts of resisting. She knew very well that Wang Kai's patience with her had reached its limit. If she continued to talk about him and expose him, she would definitely be silently executed by him. Before her sister came back, she absolutely couldn't let this happen. "Do you know where the white bone spirit is?" Wang Kai asked indifferently. After being stunned for a moment, Shangu immediately lowered his head and said self-deprecatingly, "I just came to White Bone City. I wanted to rely on the white bone spirit to improve my strength. However, before I could enter, my body was eaten by the two gatekeepers. In their place, I became the gatekeeper." Wang Kai was speechless when he heard this. He secretly thought that Shangu was really sullen and unlucky. "White Bone Spirit, come out. I'm Wang Kai. I'll come to White Bone City to discuss something with you," Wang Kai said indifferently, with his hands behind his back. Buzz. His voice was like a wave, sweeping across the entire White Bone City. This caused all of the bone cultivators to hear it. Naturally, the White Bone Spirit, who was bathing, also heard it. "Wang Kai, you're calling me a lowly person? You have something to discuss with me?" A beautiful woman was sitting in a huge bathtub without a single piece of clothing on her body. When she heard the noise outside, she immediately giggled. "Beautiful city lord, do you need this servant to go and eat this person?" Soon, a skeletal woman in a blue dress creaked into the hall. It was obvious that she had not transformed into her flesh. She was only using her clothes to cover her skeletons. The white bone spirit waved her hand and said casually, "No need. It's just a little brat with some strength." If she wanted to cover the entire White Bone City with her voice, any god of true virtue would be able to do it. However, the White Bone Spirit was one of the strongest gods of true virtue. How could she be afraid of a mere god of true virtue? Even if the god of true virtue were to come, she wouldn't be afraid. Even if a powerful enemy of the god of true virtue were to come, the White Bone Spirit would be able to make him bow his head. "White Bone Spirit, I have a way to let you grow a real physical body. If you want it, quickly come to the city gate and see me." Whoosh! The White Bone Spirit, who originally didn't want to pay attention to him, suddenly changed her expression. She raised her eyebrows and stood up. Interesting. I'll go and see for myself." After the White Bone Spirit put on her clothes, her figure moved and disappeared. If what Wang Kai said was false, the White Bone Spirit would definitely make him pay a painful price. But if it was true, the White Bone Spirit would definitely treat him as a guest of honor. After all, in the third universe, no one wanted a real, physical body more than the White Bone Spirit. Right now, she was nothing more than a physical body that had been conjured out of magic power. Even though she was the lover of the god of true virtue's 7th stage and the god of true virtue's 8th stage, she didn't have the ability to grow a real physical body. Therefore, the White Bone Spirit was very concerned about the condition proposed by Wang Kai. Chapter 12:17. At the city gate. After hearing Wang Kai's shout, many skeletal cultivators gathered around. They were all skeletons. Although they were all wearing clothes, none of them had a physical body. Moreover, Wang Kai knew very well that with their cultivation, it would be easy for them to create a physical body. However, they did not do that. Instead, they showed up as skeletons. From this, it could be seen how narrow-minded the White Bone Spirit was. Wang Kai had not seen the White Bone Spirit, but he had already seen through her character. She must be a narrow-minded, dark, and jealous woman. Very quickly, when the beautiful White Bone Spirit appeared in a white dress, Wang Kai was even more certain of the thoughts in his heart. The entire White Bone City was full of skeleton cultivators. Only the White Bone Spirit had created a physical body. Moreover, it was so beautiful. Wow, what a handsome young man. You said you have a way. I haven't said anything yet. Don't talk too much. Wang Kai glanced at her indifferently and turned to walk in front of her. He reached out his hand and boldly pinched her shoulders, waist, and other parts of her body. It was not only the white bone spirit that was stunned. Even the white bone cultivators were stunned. They were stupefied on the spot. No one had thought that Wang Kai would actually be so bold. Taking advantage of the white bone spirit in public, the city lord of White Bone City, the seventh cultivator of true virtue, did he not know that the white bone spirit was the lover of the eighth cultivator of true virtue, the earth overlord? Was he courting death? It's not an illusion. You devoured the bodies of other people and used their bodies to help you obtain a real physical body, right? However, this kind of physical body shouldn't be able to hold on for long. Wang Kai took 2 steps back and looked at her indifferently. Whoosh! After these words were spoken, the numerous bone cultivators finally understood the meaning of Wang Kai's actions. It turned out that he was checking and confirming whether the white bone spirit's physical body was real or fake. Haha, little brother is right. My physical body can only last for 7 days. If I want to gather again, I will have to swallow the flesh and blood of 1,000 women to last for another 7 days. White bone spirit blinked her beautiful eyes and smiled charmingly. The flesh and blood of 1,000 women. He could only guarantee that the white bone spirit would have a 7-day corporeal body. Hearing those words, Wang Kai immediately furrowed his brows tightly. This was not a deliberate act of anger. Instead, he was truly furious. How could she do such a cruel thing? If the 2 sides were enemies or had a conflict of interest, Wang Kai wouldn't really get angry even if he had to kill 10,000 people. After all, if you want to get something, you have to pay a certain price. Both sides asked for it and did it willingly. Even if he died, he couldn't blame anyone. However, the white bone demon's actions were all for her own beauty. In just 7 days of beauty, she wanted to destroy the lives of 1,000 women. Why did you do this? Wang Kai frowned and asked indifferently. The white bone spirit was naturally unhappy with such a question. However, she did not fly into a rage on the spot. Instead, she said as if it was a matter of course. Naturally, it's for my beauty. Oh, it's not an exaggeration to say that it's to curry favor with the Earth Overlord. You don't know, right? The Earth Overlord's hobby is very special. He needs me to change into another beautiful appearance every 7 days to please him. There's such a function? Hearing this, Wang Kai was extremely surprised in his heart, but he still maintained an indifferent expression on his face. Every 7 days, he would devour the flesh and blood of 1,000 women to obtain the beauty of his physical body for 7 days. Furthermore, he could change his appearance at will, and all of them were absolutely beautiful. It had to be said that the Earth Overlord really knew how to enjoy himself. Although the physical body obtained from devouring the flesh and blood of 1,000 women could only last for 7 days, it was a real physical body. It was no different from a normal person. Therefore, the feeling of the bridal chamber between a man and a woman was the same. If he let the white bone spirit use her white bones to do that kind of thing, cough, cough. Thinking of this, Wang Kai almost vomited on the spot. Do you know the price of doing this? Evil deeds have to pay the price. Wang Kai said indifferently with his hands behind his back. Ha ha, little brother, are you trying to say that I will be punished by the heavens? Don't mess around. You and I are both cultivators. At our current level, the heavens can no longer punish us. Hurry up and tell me, what is the method to grow a real physical body that you just mentioned? The white bone spirit said with a coquettish smile, not caring at all. At the same time, she secretly transmitted her voice. Little brother, if you can help me, I will make you feel very comfortable. Ha ha, as long as you like it, I can do any position. I can do any position. Hearing this, Wang Kai's heart moved slightly. It had to be said that he was really a little tempted. However, when he thought about how this white bone spirit's true body was only a skeleton, that feeling immediately disappeared without a trace. He didn't even have the slightest bit of interest. Impudent. I am a righteous teacher. a gentleman. How can I do such a miserable thing with you? Cough, cough. How can I do such a despicable thing with you? Wang Kai did not hide anything and directly reprimanded her in front of everyone. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000 experience, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy values. It could be said that the white bone spirit was put on the spot. Brat, I gave you face, but you didn't want it. Do you know what the consequences are? Buzz. Suddenly, the white bone spirit shouted angrily. With a flip of her jade-like hands, her hands turned into dense white bones as she grabbed onto Wang Kai's neck. Tell me the method to grow a physical body, or else die? The white bone spirit laughed sinisterly. Hee hee, you reckless thing. You even dare to provoke our beautiful city lord. Beautiful city lord, quickly kill him. This brat's realm is not low. If you eat his body, you will definitely be even more powerful. That's right. This brat is so rude. Beautiful city lord, please leave his bones for us to eat. In an instant, many of the surrounding bone cultivators began to speak out. Some of them even began to drool. They were clearly white bones, but they could drool like a normal person. In this regard, Wang Kai was also quite surprised. He even forgot that he was in a dangerous situation. What is he thinking? Why isn't he fighting back? Is he waiting for death? In the distance, little Wang was secretly anxious. In the end, he could not help but step forward and say in a deep voice, White bone spirit, let him go. He is my man. Little Wang, the deputy leader of the extreme, evil newcomer organization? The white bone spirit was stunned. When she recognized little Wang's identity, she immediately smiled charmingly and said, Do you think you have the ability to make me let him go? Do I need her to save me? Now, I'll give you one last chance. Let me go and listen to me in the future. Repay all your sins to the living beings of the third universe with good deeds. At that time, not only will I teach you the method to reconstruct your physical body, but I will also let your realm advance by leaps and bounds. Wang Kai said indifferently. Chapter 12:18. Hee hee, did you hear that? He doesn't need you to save him. However, your tone is very arrogant. You dare to order me, the white bone spirit? Clang. The white bone spirit sneered. Immediately, her eyes turned vicious. She suddenly stabbed her palm towards Wang Kai's chest. Obviously, she wanted to teach Wang Kai a lesson and make him bleed. However, the result was the sound of metal colliding. There was not the slightest injury on Wang Kai's chest. In fact, there was not even the slightest mark left behind. On the other hand, the 5 slender fingers of the white bone spirit's palm were all bent and broken. The white bones that were exposed were clearly cracked and turned into bone fragments that scattered on the ground. I said before that you can't hurt me. The chance I gave you now is still valid. Wang Kai shrugged and looked at the white bone spirit who was covering her white bone palm and constantly retreating. Who the hell are you? The white bone spirit's face was in so much pain that it was twitching. What had just been broken was the bones of her hand. Moreover, no matter how much power she used to condense, she could not recover. Such a situation made the white bone spirit extremely angry. She did not have a physical body to begin with. Now that she had lost her hand bones, wouldn't she be even more incomplete? I am the ruler of the universe, the savior of the world. I was originally in a deep sleep, but when I woke up, I saw that the third universe was in such chaos and evil things were constantly happening. Helpless, I could only come down and solve them one by one. Wang Kai shook his head slightly and sighed with a sorrowful expression. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000 experience, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy value. Congratulations to the host for successfully leveling up and reaching LV48. Hiss, hiss. Hearing Wang Kai's words, many bone cultivators sucked in a breath of cold air. They simply regarded Wang Kai as a god. That serious look on his face did not seem to be fake at all. However, little Wang, who knew that Wang Kai was lying and bragging, secretly despised him in his heart. He even turned around in shame. She blushed when she heard that. She really couldn't imagine how Wang Kai had trained himself to be so thick-skinned. How could he brag so brazenly? Aren't you afraid of being laughed at? Stop spouting nonsense. I don't care who you are or what your goal is in coming to Whitebone City, but you better think carefully. The Earth Overlord is a cultivator of the 8th cultivator of true virtue. He will help me kill you. Now, if you hand over the method to regenerate your body, not only will I make you happy, I will also train you to be my little lover. If you don't hand it over, you know what will happen to you. The white-boned spirit sneered disdainfully and stared coldly at Wang Kai. As the big shot of the 7th cultivator of true virtue and the lover of the overlord of the 8th cultivator of true virtue, she had seen all kinds of people in the 13th district. In fact, she had even seen a lot of big shots in the 12th district. How could he believe Wang Kai's nonsense? He hadn't even heard of such a thing. What kind of person do you think I am? Wang Kai's face sank. He pretended to be indifferent as he looked at her and said indifferently, I've never been close to women, and I don't have any desires. Oh no, if we're talking about desires, I only have one, and that is to restore peace to all the universes and become a loving family. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1,000 experience points, 100 bragging points, and 1 energy point. A loving family? Ugh! As soon as these words were spoken, not to mention the white-boned spirit and little Wang, who were extremely disgusted and had goosebumps all over their bodies. Even Wang Kai himself almost could not help but vomit on the spot. Wang Kai admired those hypocrites more and more. After saying righteous words, they were able to remain calm in the face of danger. The white-boned spirit said in disgust, You're disgusting me, you know. It wasn't that she had never seen a righteous person, but she had never seen someone like Wang Kai who kept talking about righteousness. It was so righteous that it made people shudder. Cut the crap. You only have one chance. Now, do you want to resist or submit? Wang Kai's eyes were cold as he reprimanded with an indifferent expression. Whoosh! Hearing this, the white-boned spirit's eyes flickered rapidly. She thought to herself, this young man isn't afraid of the Earth Overlord at all. It's as if he doesn't put the 8th cultivator of true virtue in his eyes. Could it be that he's really stronger than the 8th cultivator of true virtue? Or is he just bluffing? However, no matter what, the white-boned spirit knew one thing. This young man is stronger than me. If he wants to kill me, it's too easy. Before the Earth Overlord can come to save me, I'll be killed by him. Even if she was unwilling, the white-boned spirit didn't intend to resist now. At least, she would calm a young man down first and secretly send a message to the Earth Overlord. At that time, it would be the key to turning defeat into victory. All kinds of thoughts flashed through the white-boned spirit's mind. Then, she smiled charmingly and gently nodded. Okay, this servant agrees. What do you want this servant to do? It's obvious that she's a master who's only pretending to be obedient. You don't really believe her. Of course, I have to do something righteous. Before little Wang could finish his reminder, Wang Kai had already nodded with a smile on his face. Little Wang was startled by this. He didn't expect Wang Kai to be such an idiot. That white-boned spirit was famous for being cunning. How could she really choose to rely on him? She must be appeasing Wang Kai and secretly asking the Earth Overlord for help, right? Okay, this servant likes to do good deeds the most. Tell me, what do you want me to do? The white-boned spirit smiled charmingly. She endured the pain in her bony palm and walked in front of Wang Kai. She leaned her soft body into Wang Kai's embrace. In response, Wang Kai frowned, and his expression pretended to be indifferent as he dodged. I said before, I'm not interested in women. You should be more respectful. As for what you want to do, if you don't know how to do good deeds, it's useless for me to keep you around. I know how to do good deeds. Did you all hear that? Now go out and do good deeds. Whoever does well will be rewarded, heavily rewarded. The white-boned spirit's face paled as she hurriedly ordered loudly. She now completely understood that Wang Kai was not interested in women at all. He was definitely a righteous person from head to toe. Little did she know that it wasn't that Wang Kai wasn't uninterested in women. It was just that he wasn't interested in white bones. We're doing good deeds, spread the name of Wang Kai, and gather righteous people to come and rely on me. For the exact location, go to the extreme, evil new organization's Pentagon to find me, Wang Kai said calmly with his hands behind his back. The reason why Wang Kai's name was spread was to encourage people of justice. When he said that, no one would think too much about it. Even little Wang had a whole new level of respect for Wang Kai. He clearly wanted to build his own reputation, but he had found such a good method. Chapter 12:19. Previously, Chuka confidently said that he knew the strength of all the big shots in the 13th district like the back of his hand, and that there would be no mistakes. At that time, Wang Kai didn't expose him, but now, Chuka realized how insignificant he was. If Wang Kai hadn't pointed it out himself, he would have thought that the information he had was very useful and important. Wang Kai waved his hand and indifferently said, "It doesn't matter. Your strength was originally very low, so it's already very impressive that you were able to learn about the matters of all the big shots. I won't blame you. Now that you're the god of true virtue, you just need to do your job properly." "Yes, Senior Yama." "Oh no, Palace Master." Chuko hurriedly changed his words, looking very excited. Wang Kai nodded his head in satisfaction. Compared to the title of Senior King of Hell, the title of Palace Master sounded more comfortable. Wang Kai shrugged and said indifferently, "The two of you should follow me. Under my leadership, we will rule the third universe and turn all the evil people into righteous people. Spreading righteousness throughout the world is a very simple matter. Moreover, when my strength increases, I will also help you guys increase your realm." "Help us increase our realm?" Hearing this, the king and little king, who were originally thinking of ways to persuade Wang Kai, lost their train of thought. If Wang Kai could really increase their strength so easily, there was no need for the king and little king to establish other organizations. With their own strength, they could overturn the 8th district. As long as they reached the god of true virtue level, it would be enough. Without reaching the god of true virtue level, it was impossible to cause trouble in the 8th district. "I hope you will keep your word," the king said in a deep voice. Naturally, in the face of justice, there are no lies. In response, Wang Kai gently nodded and solemnly agreed. "Palace Master, what orders do you have for us to come here?" Chow Chow was the first to arrive. As soon as he arrived, he knelt on one knee with an extremely respectful expression. The previous appearance of going against Wang Kai completely disappeared. It was because Chow Chow knew everything that Wang Kai had done in the past 3 days. More than 100 big shots of the god of true virtue were now under Wang Kai's command. With such strength, who would dare to be his enemy? Of course, Chow Chow's submission was only temporary. Anyone who knew Chow Chow's name would be able to guess that Chow Chow was definitely not an ambitious and ruthless person who would willingly submit to others. Wang Kai was naturally aware of this, but he would not expose him. After all, Chow Chow was still very useful. His reputation as a formidable person was not for nothing. "Well, let's talk about it when everyone is here." Wang Kai gently nodded and said. Hearing this, Chow Chow stood up and nodded, respectfully standing to the side. Soon Lu Bu, Cheng Yaojin, Liu Bei, Zhang Fei, Guan Yu, and Xian Yu arrived. Apart from Lu Bu, everyone else bowed to Wang Kai and addressed him as Palace Lord. "Our bet has not been completed yet, so I will not acknowledge you," Lu Bu said indifferently. The so-called bet was naturally Wang Kai being able to rule the 13th district within a month. Although he had gathered more than 100 big shots of the god of true virtue, the real rulers of the 13th district were the Earth Overlord and the Heaven Overlord of the god of true virtue. Although everyone knew this, no one dared to resist Wang Kai. They were no match for the Earth Overlord and Heaven Overlord, and similarly, they were no match for Wang Kai. "It doesn't matter. Since you insist on the bet, I will naturally fulfill your wish." "Chow Chow, come here," Wang Kai said as he waved his hand. Hearing this, Chow Chow was startled, and his eyes flickered with suspicion. Then, he clenched his teeth and walked toward Wang Kai. Buzz! Immediately after, before Cao Cao could react, Wang Kai slapped him with his palm. Cao Cao, who was about to curse in anger, suddenly felt his strength increase from the god of true virtue to the god of true virtue's seventh cultivator of true virtue. For a moment, Cao Cao was dumbfounded. When everyone sensed it, they were all shocked, speechless. All of you have. Wang Kai's figure flapped again and again as he sent out palm strikes. Apart from Lu Bu, everyone else had their strength raised to the god of true virtue realm. As such, the weakest of the main members of the divine palace was the seventh cultivator of true virtue. Among them, there was even a king who was the eighth cultivator of true virtue. Of course, Lu Bu, who insisted on the bet, was excluded. Lu Bu, from today onwards, you're no longer the number one in a duel. Do you want to fight with me? Cheng Yaojin regained his composure and immediately waved his pitch-black wok while looking at Lu Bu with a sneer. Hearing this, Lu Bu's complexion turned extremely unsightly. He clenched his teeth and said, "If you suppress your cultivation to that of the sixth cultivator of true virtue, I will definitely beat you up." Bang! However, before Lu Bu could finish his words, Cheng Yaojin's wok slammed into his body, sending him flying and crashing to the ground. Suppress my ass. I'm clearly stronger than you, yet I still want to suppress my realm and fight with you? Do you think I'm a fool? Come here and call me Master Cheng. Otherwise, I will break your legs. Cheng Yaojin sneered. In the past, he did not dare to challenge Lu Bu because he was indeed too strong. In a duel, he had no opponent. But now it was different. He had surpassed Lu Bu, so he naturally wanted to give him a good beating. Stop. As a member of the Divine Palace, you must not do such evil things. You must always have a kind heart. Treat your own people this way and treat others the same way. If you dare to do it again, your realm will be reduced and you will be severely punished to the level of an ordinary person. Do you understand? Wang Kai frowned and said in a very displeased tone. Whoosh! Hearing this, Cheng Yaojin was sweating profusely. He cupped his fists and said, "Yes, my lord. We understand." Cao Cao and the others also suppressed their joy and quickly responded respectfully. Do you still insist on the bet? Wang Kai asked indifferently. I insist. Lu Bu did not hesitate in this regard. Even if he was not as strong as Cheng Yaojin and the others, the bet was still a bet. If he did not accept it, he would not accept it. Yes, you are really good. Buzz. Wang Kai gently nodded. With a tap of his foot, he appeared in front of Lu Bu. He waved his hand and raised Lu Bu's strength to the level of the seventh cultivator of true virtue. Of course, upholding the bet is important, but doing good for me is also the most important thing. You must have the strength to protect yourself. Wang Kai said indifferently with his hands behind his back. Oomph. Lu Bu snorted and did not say anything. He only looked at Cheng Yaojin coldly. Brother Bu, congratulations. Brother Bu, you are indeed the number one in a duel. Cheng Yaojin, admire you the most. If anyone dares to say anything bad about you, Cheng Yaojin, will be the first to stand up and slap him to death. Cheng Yaojin's body trembled, and he quickly flattered with a smile. Chapter 1220. How do I transform into a mechanic? Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and asked expectantly. Until now, he still hadn't transformed into a mechanic. He wondered what his mechanic form would look like. Host, you only need to use your mind to activate it. I only need to use my mind to activate it. Is it like the summoning system? Hearing the prompt, Wang Kai raised his eyebrows slightly, touched his nose, and tentatively activated his mind. Mechanic. Strengthen the skill. Buzz. Suddenly, a black light appeared around Wang Kai's body and finally formed a black light shield that completely surrounded Wang Kai. Congratulations to the host for successfully using the mechanic function. This time, 10 energy points are consumed, and it will last for 10 minutes. As the system prompt disappeared, the black light shield also disappeared. As for Wang Kai, he had taken on the form of an Azura. However, His armor was not blood red. Instead, it was black. It was pitch black. Even his pupils were black. Moreover, Wang Kai didn't have the scythe, the huge skeleton mount, and so on that the Azura had. He only had a black armor and an oppressive pressure surrounding his body. Wang Kai felt that this pressure was quite familiar. It was like demonic energy. Although my combat power has increased to the level of 10 cultivators of true virtue and can fight against an 11 cultivators of true virtue. Isn't this form a bit too much? I'm a gentleman now. Wang Kai frowned and snorted with displeasure. Just as he spoke, Wang Kai suddenly realized that even his voice was so deep, full of majesty, and full of coldness. Host, you can freely change your form and temperament. However, each change will consume 10 energy points. Wang Kai frowned and said indifferently, Then I'll change into a righteous temperament and a sacred silver armor. The silver armor represented purity and was untainted by impurities. Congratulations to the host for successfully transforming into a mechanic. A total of 10 energy points have been consumed. Buzz. Following the disappearance of the system, the pitch black armor turned into a silver color. Furthermore, the aura it emitted was filled with holiness and closeness. It was as if he could make people believe that Wang Kai was a holy and kind person after seeing and feeling him. Wang Kai was quite satisfied with this. His original body was at the level of a 9th cultivator of true virtue. After transforming into the form of a mechanic, his combat power had increased to the level of an 11th cultivator of true virtue. This was a battle prowess that surpassed 2 divine cultivators. Sky Piercer. Wang Kai waved his hand, and a silver-white halberd appeared in his hand. As he waved it around, the might of the halberd was monstrous. Not bad, not bad. The appearance is very good. It suits my taste. Haha. Wang Kai laughed heartily in satisfaction. If it weren't for the fact that he had just helped Cao Cao and the others improve their strength, resulting in his strength being less than half of his peak, he would have really wanted to go out and fight. Palace Master. The Earth Overlord has brought his troops here. Palace Master, the White Bone Spirits faction, as well as the 57 factions of the 7th cultivator of true virtue that supported the Earth Overlord, have all changed sides. Palace Master, I'm afraid that once the Earth Overlord appears, the remaining factions of the 7th cultivator of true virtue will also change sides. Palace Master, please make a decision quickly. As Chu Ku's voice sounded one after another, Cao Cao and the others also appeared in the meeting room. Looking at Wang Kai, who had transformed into a mechanic and was holding a high-grade weapon, Cao Cao and the others were all stunned. This is a purple gold weapon? It can't be wrong. The big shots of the 1st District have used weapons of this level, and their power is exactly the same. Lil Wang exclaimed in surprise. Shut up. King hurriedly stopped him. However, Cao Cao and the others still heard it clearly. Lil Wang actually knew that the big shots of the 1st District had purple gold weapons. Could it be that King and Lil Wang were both from the 1st District? That's right. It's purple gold grade, and its skills are also purple gold grade. It's a bit weak, but it's still enough for the time being. Shuko, what does the Earth Overlord mean? Does he want to start a war with us? Wang Kai frowned and asked indifferently. I'm afraid he wants to start a war. Chuka came back to his senses and quickly replied, Restore my strength. Helpless, Wang Kai could only communicate with the system. Unless he had no other choice, he really didn't want to use the system that consumed bragging points to restore his strength. Congratulations to the host for successfully restoring his strength to the peak. This time, a total of 100 bragging points were consumed. Host, Wang Kai profession, mechanic level, 60 energy, 8, 0, 10 skills, strength in purple gold grade mech, purple gold grade sky, piercer bragging points, 200 experience points, 02000. After hearing the notification, Wang Kai nodded slightly and smiled. Then, he said indifferently, Let's go, everyone. Watch how I tame the Earth Overlord. Tame the Earth Overlord. The Earth Overlord of the 8th cultivator of true virtue. When Cao Cao and the others heard this, they were all excited. Naturally, They wouldn't choose to change sides at the last minute. After all, only the original members of the nefarious faction knew that Wang Kai's true strength had reached the level of the 9th cultivator of true virtue. Moreover, he had a purple gold grade weapon and skills. Who could compete with him in the 13th district? Was a mere earth overlord enough to defeat him? Wang Kai shrugged and said indifferently, "Lu Bu, when you lose, it comes very quickly. There's no need to wait 3 days. Now, I'll unify the 13th district." Hearing this, Lu Bu snorted. He naturally knew that Wang Kai had this ability. He didn't want to admit defeat before, because he was angry. He didn't want to accept Wang Kai's sudden strength. This made the god of war Lu Bu very uncomfortable. King of Hell, the palace lord of the Celestial Palace? Ha ha, interesting. Originally, I didn't have the mood to care about what you wanted to do, but you even dared to snatch my subordinates and my women. Is it you who's arrogant? Or this overlord who's old? Under the Pentagon, tens of thousands of members of the Celestial Palace were all surrounded. On the opposite side was a middle-aged man riding a skeletal warhorse and holding a bone spear. He was one of the strongest people in the 13th district, the Earth Overlord of the 8th cultivator of true virtue. In his arms, the white-boned spirit was like a little bird, letting the Earth Overlord's palm wander around her chest and all over her body. From time to time, she would even let out a low moan. Similarly, the number of troops that the Earth Overlord brought was also quite strong. There were hundreds of thousands of them, including the 7th cultivator of true virtue, and over 100 of them, the 6th cultivator of true virtue, the 5th cultivator of true virtue, and so on. Although the current members of the Celestial Palace were all at the 6th cultivator of true virtue realm, they were still afraid when facing so many 6th cultivator of true virtue and over 107th cultivator of true virtue experts. In terms of numbers, they had already lost. What are you afraid of? The 7th cultivator of true virtue and the Earth Overlord won't be able to do anything to you. Your leaders will deal with them. Just attack and capture all the people that the Earth Overlord brought. If anyone resists, kill them on the spot. Chapter 12:21. What's wrong? Could it be that the mighty Cao Cao is afraid of something? Wang Kai asked with an indifferent expression. Whoosh! As soon as these words came out, Cao Cao's face turned ugly. In particular, all his subordinates were present, and there were hundreds of thousands of people watching and listening. If he didn't agree, wouldn't he lose face in the future? Cao Cao's eyes flickered as he responded, "It's not that I'm afraid. It's just that the difference in strength is too great. If I were to go alone, not only would I not be able to successfully convey the message, but my subordinates would also die there." Sure enough, as soon as his voice fell, Cao Cao's response won the gratitude and admiration of all his subordinates. He didn't say that he was afraid, but directly admitted that there was a difference in strength between the two sides. Moreover, it was mainly because he was afraid that his subordinates would be in danger. He knew himself clearly, sympathized with his subordinates, and was clear-headed, not reckless and impulsive. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that he was a formidable person. Even the other big shots of the god of true virtue praised Cao Cao. Of course, those big shots of the god of true virtue praised Cao Cao's tactfulness and didn't believe that he really sympathized with his subordinates. Wang Kai waved his hand and said indifferently, "Don't worry, I'll use my divine sense to go with you. If Tian Ba Wang dares to refuse, I'll take action and suppress him 1,000 miles away." Divine sense? Suppress him 1,000 miles away? Hearing these words, Cao Cao seriously thought for a moment. Seeing that Wang Kai insisted on going alone, he couldn't refuse. So, he nodded and said, "I can go, but only by myself. My subordinates can stay here and wait for the good news." Whoosh! As soon as these words came out, Cao Cao's subordinates were so grateful that they cried bitter tears. Cao Cao, as their leader, had just reached the realm of the god of true virtue and had a great future ahead of him. Yet, he was willing to sacrifice himself for his subordinates. Regarding this, Wang Kai was speechless. He didn't expect Cao Cao to play with people's hearts to the extreme. He clearly knew that he could go together or go alone, but there were only two outcomes. First, they would all die there. Second, they would return alive. Knowing this, Cao Cao might as well go alone. If he could return alive, his prestige would be extremely high. If he really died, Cao Cao would be able to gain a good reputation. No matter what, Cao Cao would not lose out. Cao Cao's actions were completely forced by Wang Kai. He didn't want anyone else to go, but he wanted him to go. Regarding this, Cao Cao felt very helpless and sorrowful. He had no choice but to do this. Okay, I promise you. Go ahead. Wang Kai gently nodded. He might as well fulfill his wish and let him win more people's hearts. It would also increase his own strength. As for Cao Cao's rebellious mentality, Wang Kai was not worried at all. With the strength of the seventh god of true virtue and the sixth god of true virtue, even if there were another million of them, they wouldn't be able to pose any threat to him. Cao Cao is gone. Cao Cao cupped his fist and bid farewell. His expression was as if he was going to meet his death. It could be said that the crowd was full of admiration, and they could empathize with him. Palace Master, let us follow the leader. That's right. Even if we die, we will die with our leader. Palace Master, please agree. Many of Cao Cao's subordinates knelt on the ground and begged Wang Kai to agree. Regarding this, Wang Kai's expression was indifferent, but he was full of admiration in his heart. All of Cao Cao's schemes had succeeded, and they had succeeded perfectly. No need, since he is so determined. As his subordinates, you naturally have to fulfill his good intentions. Besides, I won't let Cao Cao die. You can rest assured. Wang Kai waved his hand and said indifferently, he might as well help Cao Cao again. In fact, Cao Cao didn't want them to go. Even if they went, no matter how many of them there were, they wouldn't be able to do anything to Heavenly Overlord. If something happened with so many people, it would be a loss if even one of them died. Since that was the case, it was better to go alone. Buzz. The moment Cao Cao's voice fell, Wang Kai, in front of everyone, flicked his finger and sent out a strand of divine sense to follow closely behind Cao Cao. If Heavenly Overlord wasn't convinced, he could instantly suppress him with this divine thought. My king, you should reorganize Heavenly Overlord subordinates here. Little Wang, come with me for a trip. Wang Kai said indifferently with his hands behind his back. Go for a trip? Little Wang's body trembled when she heard this. She couldn't understand what Wang Kai was going to do at this juncture. Why did he have to make her follow? Could it be that there was something more important than dealing with District 13's strongest Heavenly Overlord? You can't be thinking of finding a deserted place to eat me, right? With your current reputation, you haven't reached the point where people will believe whatever you say. Isn't this a little too early? Little Wang asked sternly through telepathy. Wang Kai raised his eyebrows slightly when he heard this. He was really embarrassed. It seemed that in Little Wang's eyes, he had always been a pervert. You think too much. I have no interest in women. Not now, not in the future. Let's go. Wang Kai glanced at her indifferently and took the lead to step into the air. Sister, you have to be careful. If he dares to do something bad, use your life card and escape back to District 8. Then, let Father send you to the first 3 districts to hide. The king reminded her in a deep voice. In this regard, Little Wang nodded bitterly. If Wang Kai really did something like that, even if she escaped to the first 3 districts, it would be difficult to escape from his clutches. The speed of Wang Kai's breakthroughs was simply too fast. How many days had it been? He went from 3 cultivators to 9 cultivators. If he was given more time, it would be very easy for him to surpass the big shots of the first 3 districts, right? Perhaps District 13 was just a transition for Wang Kai to accumulate strength and improve his strength. The place that truly belonged to him was the first 3 districts of the 3rd universe. How is it now? Azura, did he suspect you? Wang Kai walked in the air with his hands behind his back and secretly communicated with the demon ruler. For Wang Kai, the overlords of heaven and earth were not worth his attention. The one that he really needed to pay attention to was Azura. His speed of improvement and his ability to kill enemies 2 realms above him were the most threatening. Master, Azura did not suspect me. However, he wants me to come back and be your spy. I'm preparing to go back now, the demon ruler said in distress. What the hell? He wants you to come back and be my spy. And you agreed? Wang Kai frowned and was speechless. Did Azura see something, or did he not believe in the demon ruler at all? So he came up with a counter-spy plan? It's the same as when Master appointed me. If I don't agree, I will die. Sai, it's really hard to be weak. The demon ruler sobbed as he spoke. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.